Hello and welcome to another stream. We have the BSL Gosuleague round of 16 Group D for you today. And my name is Ray, and with me here is again the wonderful Snipe.
Hey everyone, glad to be here again, and glad to say I got a new modem. So if you were here last week and suffered through some of my problems, it should be no more this week. So looking forward to a good cast and a bunch of good games, finding out the last two players to advance to the next round of Gosuleague.
Yeah, no connection problems today, just pure StarCraft, pure entertainment, and yeah, we will have good games, I think. Sadly, as usual in the Gosuleague, almost always no Terrans, but we have two Protoss and two Zergs today, and we'll take a look at the groups right now. So there we go. So we are casting Group D for you today. And in this group we have DeanMax, Eriador, P-Tech, and Dreamer. Let's do a short look at how they did in the ladder stage in case you haven't seen them before. So we have DeanMax as the first player. He's here in spot 46, 2120 MMR. Yeah, we have basically casted those players already, but just a little reminder where they ended up in the ladder stage. Then we have Eriador, also pretty much in the same region here with 2140, so just slightly above DeanMax here. Then P-Tech, using the account 187 core, pretty much the same MR. He's right below Drone. Right below area draw. Yeah. So all players very similar today, and the last player is our Protoss Dreamer. So he's the only one a little bit, just like 30 MR lower. But overall, we should have very balanced, very even games here. And that means we will have a fun night of StarCraft.
Yes, that's right. And I actually looked in the chat there for Gosuleague, and we have there was a vote, like Han does vote these votes of who he thinks is going to make it out. And it was actually Eriador or Liquid Drone and Dreamer who had the most votes. So people seem to think those are the two that are going to advance. So we'll have to see.
Eriador and Dreamer, you say?
Yep.
Okay.
I believe so.
Let's see. I kind of remember DeanMax playing pretty good games. He also advanced to 0, so I'm interested. I'm looking forward to the games. Yeah, okay, so now that we have seen the group and we have taken a short look at the players, I think we are ready to join the first game. So let's go. The first game will be DeanMax versus Eriador, and the game is already loaded up. And we are starting. So for anyone who wants to follow the brackets, I will put the link in the chat as well. Snipe already provided the ladder stage link from the Bombastic Star League homepage. And with that you should have all the info you need. And now we are ready. So let's jump into the game. And here we are. So the map is Benzene. And in the top right, we have our race-picking player from Norway. It is Liquid Drone, aka Eriador.
All right, and in the bottom left, we have our Magenta Protoss, from Peru, BSL 10, DeanMax or DeanMax, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So
for anyone who doesn't know Liquid Drone or Eriador, he's a very old school player. You might be able to tell from the nickname. For those of you who don't know, that was actually the clan tag of the very, very old Team Liquid clan. You all know the website, but very, very, very long ago, there was a Brood War clan called Liquid or Team Liquid, and that was the clan tag, and he was one of the members. Yeah, and he's actually race picking. So he's playing Protoss versus Zerg, and he's playing Zerg versus Zerg and Terran.
Or against Protoss and Terran, yeah.
Yes, sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. One other thing I would say too is he has also coached in CPL. I know that. So if you ever want to get some coaching from him, he's there as a coach as well. Very helpful guy. So yeah, knowledgeable, knows his stuff. But looking into this, getting into this game, we have a little bit of an interesting opening coming out of the Max here. He went for 1 gate gas, so he's going to be going for some kind of a tech build here off of 1 base. We'll have to see what he wants to go for. There's definitely a few different things you can do with this. Like usually you want to get like a fast Corsair, but you could follow it up with Reavers, DTs. We'll just have to see where he wants to go. Where meanwhile, Liquid Drone has gone ahead for a 12 hatchery, being a little bit longer rush distance map. I think he feels a little bit safer doing this. Not too worried, and it's a little bit harder to cannon rush. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you can do a tight wall above the minerals there on this map. I'm not actually sure, but
yeah, I'm not sure either.
But yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Rear door still without any gas here, so if there's a fast core there, you need some gas unit, otherwise you're forced into early spores, and that's usually not what you want to do. But yeah, so far he has not scouted it. He just drone scouts now, which is a bit late, I would say. The first zealot is already coming, so he does still not know that this is a 1-base play.
Yeah, he did see that zealot, so he might think it was a gateway expand, but now the drone is going to scout that there is nothing here at the natural. He's going to get up into the main and see 1 gateway and see the gas and know roughly what he's up against here.
Yep. And so far, the only reaction is some Zerglings for scouting that lair, and he's making another hatch. He just killed the scout prop here, so no more scouting for DNMax, and Eriador just needs to focus on this 1 zealot now and doesn't need to be like careful about that probe.
Yeah. So looks like we do have that Stargate coming down now for DNMax. Gonna get out that quick Corsair. We'll have to see what Liquid Drone's response to this is going to be. Like we can see already, he still hasn't mined any gas. His gas is done, and he's just now sending those drones there. So it's going to be a little bit before he can get any anti-air units out still.
Yeah, and you always have to remember, if you have a Zerg playing against a 1-basing Protoss, that's a whole different game. Against a fast expanding Protoss, a Zerg can just park his Overlord in the main base and see everything what the Protoss is doing. But against the fast gas 1-base with a core, he can't fly in with an Overlord. Well, he can, but then he is at the risk of losing that Overlord to a fast Dragoon. So Liquid Drone actually does not know what the exact tech is. It could be, for example, a Reaver drop or so, and he doesn't know.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that as well. They can, Protoss usually will get a Dragoon with this. It looks like DNMax hasn't, but just to chase out that Overlord if it does come in. But interesting enough, we actually don't even have a Corsair being made here from DNMax. He's actually making a Scout. Exactly. What do you think about that?
Well, I like it. It's, yeah, pretty funny. So some Zergs, yeah, they don't really get a lot of... They don't get Hydras, they don't get the fast Spire because the gas was very late anyways, and they just get those spores. But if there's only 1 spore at 1 place and he parks all the Overlords on top of the spore and thinking he's safe from a Corsair, then the scouts can still harass the drones. But we actually have Hydralisk in here, so I'm not sure if the scout will actually do a lot of damage here. I don't think so.
Yeah, we do have the first Hydras in production, so these should be able to, you know, keep away that scout from doing anything. The scout is going to go ahead and kill that first Overlord just outside of the NMAX's base there, and then go across, do some scouting, as the name might suggest. We do have a Ling that just killed one of the generators. I don't know exactly how many are stacked here, but there is a few on that Zerg side there. So it looks like he maybe wants to eventually open that up. Although he's running away with that Zergling, so maybe not. Just killing one of them off. We do have a few Zerglings roaming around the map, maybe looking to see if there's anything hidden, or just to give a heads up if he takes a base or something flies over, like the scout in that direction. We do see that scout has gotten to Zerg's base and it's going to start killing some of these drones, but with the Hydras already out, I don't think it's going to get much done. Maybe he'll kill 1 or 2 here.
Yeah, 1 goes down. A scout needs actually 6 hits to kill a drone, so only able to get 1 here, and then it's chased out by the Hydralisk. So what's the plan here? He has 400 minerals right now, but he's not really Yeah, okay, now he added another gateway and produced 2 zealots. So it looks like he wants to stay on one base for a little while longer. 3 gateways out of one base. Interesting.
Yeah, he does have one DT roaming out on the map here, maybe looking for some of those stray Zerglings to kill or something. But he's also getting leg speed, and that's actually just about done. So it looks like he wants to go for a one-base Zealot, speed Zealot follow-up to this. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get anything done. There's already quite a few Hydras out for Ariador here, and by the time those Zealots get across the map, he's going to have even more. Oh, look at this. This is cute, too. He's also got Burrow.
Perfect.
And
yeah.
burrowed right where he wants to place that Nexus.
Yeah, this is a very good play because a one-basing Protoss, he doesn't have a lot of gas, and if you know that the Protoss already went into a Stargate, then he doesn't have a lot of gas to get a fast observer out. So he has to make a pylon and then make another cannon here just to clear this one burrowed Zergling, and this delays the Nexus big time.
Yeah, that's a very good play by him. Very heads up. Okay, you can see that cannon started now, but it's going to be a little bit. Meanwhile, the scout's still on Zerg's side of the map, flying around, seeing what he can see. Got no more kills yet. DT is going to be sneaking up here. I don't know if he's going to try and break through those generators. Maybe that lane kind of helped him out if that's the plan here.
Yeah,
killing one of those earlier.
But there is an Overlord in position to see it. Let's see if okay, he cannot see it.
Yeah.
He cannot see it right now, but as soon as he breaks through there, the Overlord will actually spot him, so he could react. But hold that thought, we have a little attack here by Ariador, it looks like.
Yeah, looks like a bunch of Hydras rallying forward. There's only one cannon here and a few Zealots.
Yeah.
Okay, there is a DT and a High Templar in the main. I don't know if Storm... Okay, Storm's not quite ready yet. He's going to have to bring those units down to defend this.
Yeah, where's the Storm? Storm done any second here. Still no energy.
Not enough energy, though. Yeah. I think that DT should be able to push these Hydras back, but maybe? I mean, he's going to trade out these Zealots in the meantime, so that's going to be good for him here.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about this. I think he lost more than he killed there. He definitely lost a lot of Hydras, and the DT did damage the whole time, but he gets a High Templar at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just barely gets that last one High Templar. Not one did have a Storm on it, so. Alright, so he does hold his natural here. Meanwhile, that DT's still working away on those generators here at Zerg base, and it looks like a few more Hydras are coming out onto the map. Maybe looking to continue this pressure. I'm not sure that's enough now, though, so we'll see.
Yeah, now that Storm is done... Okay, we actually don't have a single High Templar right now. That's interesting, but I still don't think the Hydras will be enough. I'm not sure if this is the right decision by Ariador, but maybe he's just trying to make DeanMac think that it's going mass Hydra, but meanwhile he's actually flying across the map with Mutalisk here.
Yeah, and I gotta say, there's not a lot for anti-air here for DeanMax. He's got 2 cannons here at the natural and 1 in the main, and 1 High Templar. There's only 6 meters here, so maybe a good Storm can get a lot done. Nice dodge on that Storm, though.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know, man. He attacked the cannons for way too long. He should realize that he cannot really break that, I think. So only 4 Mutalisks left, and he's flying into the cannons again. So not a lot of stuff going well here for Ariador, and now he has to defend against the Zealots.
Yeah. Should also be noted that Ariador is still only on 2 base. He's just now taking that 3rd hatchery.
Yeah.
So it's been 2 base for a while, and now Protoss is on 2 base. Like Protoss likes that kind of situation a lot. But we'll have to see. I mean, if he can secure this 3rd base and take a 4th base, he can definitely get into a good spot here. DT's still killing that generator. I don't have a clue how many are left. Looks like he's about to take another one down. And there's still at least 1. Okay.
Yeah, looks like at least looks like 2 if I see the dark gray from the shadow.
Yeah. No, I keep going back to see if he's broken in yet, because like if he manages to sneak in there, he could get a lot of drone kills.
Yeah, and that Overlord that was in position there on the minerals, that is not here anymore. So this can really do a lot of damage. There are 2 Overlords actually in the main, so
Oh,
I'm not sure.
we have
Mutal is doing damage and the
a lurker
Lurker.
above there too, yeah.
Wow.
How did that lurker get in there? I guess he must have had drop, I missed it or something.
Actually, I think it's super funny because I think that was actually the last Hydra from the very first attack when he chased that High Templar. He buried it in the main and he must have sneaked it around to the generator and made the
Yes.
lurker there. Wow.
I bet you that's what happened. I'm sorry I missed that, but that's very cool. Yeah, well, it looks like the third base is now up for a liquid drone here, starting to mine from that. That lurker was cleaned up, so I don't know how many probes he lost there, but we can definitely see that the worker count is pretty close here between the two at the moment.
Yeah, and now Eriador has a third base as well, but the generator is almost broken, the last one here.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, he's been working at this all game. There are a couple of Hydras sitting here in the main and a couple of Overlords near those drones. So I think he will probably see, like, one of those Hydras will probably attack the DT. We'll have to see how the controller how it handles it. And that actually wasn't the last one. There's still at least one more here.
Okay.
Oh, Overlord flying that direction. Okay, he doesn't quite get there. Meanwhile, we do have looks like a little bit of an engagement possibly going down here in the middle of the map. There are no observers, so Zerg should be able to just push this back here, yeah.
Yeah, no observers and no storm. You also can't underestimate the storm against this big group of Hydra. And he actually does have drops, so maybe it was a drop after all. We can't know. But 2 Overlords are heading to the bottom of the map, so he will drop those into the main very soon, I think.
Yeah, it looks like we got 3 lurkers and 2 Hydras going towards the main. There are a couple of cannons here, a third one actually warping in as well, but there are no units. So he may be able to find a good spot where he can do some damage, maybe depower some gateways or something. Of course, there is going to scout this.
Goons spawning in the right moment. Perfect defense here for those goons, but he's still dropping it out. On the top, only 1 cannon here, but Overlord observers also here, so this should not do any damage.
He did get a few probes. I was watching. He was at 39 probes, so looks like we got 5 total probes so far. 6. 7. Okay. I mean, that's not bad. He did get some kills. 8 probes in total, maybe 8 or 9 probes there.
Yeah.
But it is defended. I will have to say though, it looks like Zerg is in a better position now, being more drones than there are probes. But saying that, the DT has gotten in and has started killing some of these drones.
Yeah, definitely Zerg in a good position if Zerg has more drones, but here's the main fight now in the third base of the Zerg. The army is out of position here, but I think he still has way enough. Oh, Templars get picked off, only 1 out of 4 storms casted, and now the Hydras will just clean up here.
Yeah, this looks really good for Eriador now. Like, he just destroyed that Protoss army. He barely lost anything. Maybe just like a couple of Hydras, if anything, and a couple of drones. So, yeah, I mean, worker counts are the same as you can see, and Liquid Drone is actually ahead in supply here. So I'm definitely favoring Zerg. I mean, he's throwing down his 4th base. Protoss is trying to take that 3rd base back at home, and it is finishing, but does he have enough units to really defend this if Eriador goes across the map?
Yeah, I don't think so, but I think Eriador can also do whatever he wants now. He can just take more bases. I mean, his 4th is almost up. He could even take a 5th at this point, I think, because he's ahead in supply and he just has such a big army. Also, I just realized no upgrades here researching for DNMax. He's on 1-0, but he's not researching anymore, and he only has 1 forge as well. So that could definitely be a problem later on in the game. So it feels like DNMax has to do something very soon, otherwise the game doesn't look good for him.
Yeah, Zerg is also only on 1-0 here for Hydras. He has started his next 2 upgrades, but they've only just started, so it's going to be a little bit while before that happens. Looks like we have a couple of Hydras here up on the high ground. I think he was probably hoping to morph some lurkers up there and maybe get some more probe kills, but DNMax sniffs that out and kills those Hydras, so no lurkers going on up there. There was another lurker by those generators too that just got picked off. So Liquid Drone's still trying to get that harassment done, but DMax has been on top of that now. He doesn't want to lose any more probes, probably realizing he's not in the greatest position after losing that army basically for free at Zerg's third.
Yes. Fourth base is now up for Eriador, and his drone count is also growing, I think even faster than DMax's, so really he's still ahead on drones with 4 bases. If he doesn't throw his units away or lets Protoss take a 4th base, I think he should be in a good position. So this is really important. He has to scout the 4th base attempt here of DMax, I think.
Yeah, he could definitely deny that if he knows it's coming up and goes up there. But will he? Like, we have that pylon going down. If DMax is able to get some cannons up here, a couple of Templars, it becomes a lot harder for Zerg to break. But in saying that, it looks like Liquid Drone is headed that direction right now, so he will scout this out and be able to deny that for now.
Yes.
Oh,
wow.
or not.
Oh, he actually turned around because the little bits of army poked out here for DMax. Wow, he didn't scout in far enough. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I would still say Uridor here is favored, but he's getting his 5th base up and running now. But this does give DMax a chance, right? Like, if he can get that base up and running, he's going to be on 3 gases. He's going to have, well, 3 bases of mining since he has mined out his main now. But, I mean, Protoss can live off of that. He can definitely do something. Build up a big army and challenge Liquid Drone on the map somewhere.
Yeah, in the end, a lot of StarCraft in the late game is definitely also positioning. If like DMax catches a big group of units unprepared, he can still win a fight. So let's see, he's trying to push up here. Is there a fight? We have 2 High Templars. There are still a lot of units down there for Eriador, so he's only fighting with a part of his army here. Nice first storm, second storm is also great. Yeah, he wins that fight.
Yeah, I don't know about this. He's got like a lot of units spread out, Liquid Drone does. I feel like if he had his whole army with this fight, he would have crushed this Protoss army. He still might be able to beat it with these Hydras coming in, some more Lurker Ling from the bottom. I think he will still win this fight, but it could have gone a lot better for him.
Yes.
For sure. DMax is trying to retreat. Will he be able to? Looks like there's a couple of Hydras trying to stop them or slow this army down, so the rest of the army can catch and kill it, which would be a big win for Liquid Drone if he could.
Okay, and now we have another scout off the top left here, and yeah, actually no cannons up yet. He had the pylon for a long time there, but didn't really make the cannons, despite having a lot of minerals, so kinda missed a shot here. If he had like 4 cannons, he could have easily defended this. And maybe get up his 4th, but now that's denied, and with losing his army, I think now he's in a very, very bad position, I have to say.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult for him to fight back. I mean, he's lost a couple of armies on the map, and that's Protoss's advantage, right? Is having this big death ball army out on the map, wandering around, being able to deny Zerg bases, picking off units here and there and stuff. If you keep losing that big army and it keeps getting reset, it's much like, you know, in Terran and TVP, where if you keep losing that army, it just becomes harder and harder for you to fight back as your opponent grows and grows. Like, Zerg is on 5 bases now. That's pretty much half the map here, or almost half the map. So Protoss is going to try and take that 4th base again. I mean, if he can get it, there's still a chance. But if he can't get that, I don't think he'll be able to win this game.
Yeah, this is the most important part of the game right now, I think. And you can see DMax understands that. He is in a bad position, but he understands what he needs to do. He needs to get this 4th up, and he has his units prepared to intercept any army that is going to its 4th. But now he's actually attacking. Can he land good storms here?
Oh,
yes,
very nice
good
storms. Yeah.
But is it enough?
Is it? Yeah, there's a lot of units sitting back at the 3rd base for Liquid Drone that he could have brought in for this fight as well, and it would have easily crushed this. But yeah, it looks like he's just got too much. The Zerg has grown too big, and I don't think Protoss is going to be able to push back. We do see a 6th base coming down now here for Liquid Drone, and DMax hasn't really been able to get the map presence that he needs to, you know, slow Zerg down and stop Zerg from growing, push him back, maybe kill a couple of bases. And we're just kind of seeing Zerg slowly overwhelm the Protoss here. and
Yeah.
eventually I think he's going to take this game.
Yeah, I mean, it looked kind of promising that he got his fourth up here and was sitting in front of it with the army, but I think pushing into the middle, into the Zerg army was definitely not the best move here. And yeah, you can't just lose one army after another as a Protoss. Then that's usually a sign that the Zerg is just getting more and more ahead and will run away with that game.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Zerg doesn't even have to kill Protoss per se. He just has to outlast him, right? He could just win this game by letting Protoss mine out on these 4 bases and him take the rest of the map. Even if Protoss trades super effectively, there's just way too many extra bases. Now, if Protoss can get into a map split situation where he has the same number of bases as Zerg, all of a sudden, this becomes more Protoss favored as they trade really efficiently in the super late game.
Yes, and the important bases, if we look at the whole map here, there are 4 bases on the right side, there are 4 bases on the left side. Okay, never mind, hold this out. We have a fight here, and Dinmax again trying to go into the middle. And again he's losing his army.
Yep.
Can he save the High Templars this time? Okay, Morphs and Archon here, maybe...
Yep.
Never mind.
That's good enough. I mean, I appreciate the trying. He's got to try to do something, right? He's got to try and get on the map and either stamp out some of these bases or get his own bases up and running, defend them himself. But I mean, Liquid Drone always has the answer, right? He's just never letting him get on the map. He's never letting him take these extra bases, except for top left, which he did get, which I mean is allowing him to stay in this game at this point. Had he not gotten top left at this point, he probably would already be out of this game. So.
That is correct, and yeah, I think he should just gather like a little bit of a bigger army. I mean, he still has 3 running bases at this point. He can definitely max out on those, and then maybe he has a better shot at the fights if he actually maxes out. But I think with less supplies than a Zerg, trying to go into the middle with like 120 supply every time, I think is not the way.
Yeah, you'd need like the best storms ever just to have a chance. And yeah, it looks like we have a bunch of units coming out here for Eriador now. There are Defilers out, so we're going to be able to start seeing some Plagues or Dark Swarms being thrown down here. And at this point, you got to feel really bad as Protoss, knowing that they're very nice storms, though, I got to say.
Yep.
Like, those are like the best storms he could have hoped for, but Zerg still just crushed that Protoss army, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, he's just losing one army after another, and the sad thing is that he's always losing all the High Templars. Sad thing for Protoss, of course. We don't want to be biased here, as usual. Yeah, but if you lose your High Templars all the time, those important gas units, that's pretty, unfortunate for the Protoss, and that usually decreases the chances of winning the game quite drastically here. And now he's trying to push in the middle again without a single High Templar. So if those Hydralisks and Zerglings get over here, especially also with Dark Swarm, I only see like one Zealot.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. This army is like really Dragoon heavy, especially for the fact that Defilers are out. Dragoons don't do so well once Defilers are out. You still need a few in your army maybe, but yeah, these Lings are just gonna shred through these Dragoons, and their Dinmax just leaves the game. Okay. GG. Liquid Drone takes game number 1. It was a nice game too, to start us off here.
Yes, so definitely interesting attempt here by Dinmax going for the one-base play. Haven't quite worked out for him, and let's see if he does a more common strategy in a PvZ in the second game.
Yeah, these are all best of 3s today, so he still has another chance to go to the winner's match.
Yes, and the map we have for the second game here is the map that has been removed from the ladder, but should be very popular and known to anyone anyways. It is Sylphid, and we will jump into the game very soon.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate they removed this one from the ladder. It's a very popular map now. I think a lot more people like it more than Fighting Spirit even, so.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, the game is loaded up and we are ready to join. Okay, here we are. So, in the top position of Sylphid, we have our product DMAX.
And on the left side, one game away from advancing to the winners match, we have Liquid Drone, aka Ariador, our yellow Zerg here.
Yes. So, by the way, since we are still in these early stages of this game, just a quick information here. So, the format of this group is still the same as it was in the round of 32. We have like 2 series of best of 3 in the beginning, then the winners go into winners match, the losers go into losers match, and then we have a decider match from the 2 people who have traded 1 win and 1 loss so far. So that's the format here, but that should be also very common for any avid follower of StarCraft. Should be a very known matchup format. And yeah, if you have any feedback, any comments, any criticism, whatever, share your thoughts in the chat. We will always read the chat, sometimes during the game, also in between the games, and definitely in between the series. So yeah, share your thoughts there.
Yep. All right, now looking at this game, it does look like we're going to have a little bit more of a standard max in this game. Maybe a bit harder to pull off a 1-gate tech build on this map, but he is going to go ahead and throw down that forge here. So we have a forge fast expand. Meanwhile, it looks like it was a 12 hatch, or no, 11 hatch, I guess, out of Liquid Drone. Expecting maybe a gateway first or gateway opening with that 11 hatch, but he will be fine. Now, can't really counter rush this spot very well anyways, so perfectly fine. And DMAX is now aware of this, seeing that pool come down and that hatchery.
Yeah, it's always a bit unfortunate if you see the hatch first and you already started the cannon. I think if you actually... Oh, okay, now he canceled it, so... I think if you do the scouting trick that he actually used, he was scouting to the right side of the map here, the right side of the center, and if the Zerg is bottom right here, then you would see the Overlord appearing here, because the Overlord is always scouting towards the nearest natural of the 2 other positions. So then he knows, okay, there's no Overlord here, and immediately turned around scouting the left side. And I think if you do that trick, you're always early enough to get the cannon out, even if you don't start it earlier, if it's a 9 pool or anything later.
Yeah. That assumes Zerg is scouting correctly as well. Sometimes Zerg might scout the other way to try and trick you, especially if they know that you might do that. Or they just don't know, so... can be a little bit of a mind game kind of thing going on there too, but as you see, it worked out for him. He did scout Zerg first, and he did cancel that cannon and get the Nexus a little bit quicker here.
Yep.
So looks like pretty standard stuff coming out from him. We're going to have that high ground base taken as the third for Liquid Drone. Pretty standard third base positioning, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. You have the gas here. This base that you can see here on this bright green grass, that is reduced in resources, so that's not the best base to take. This base is definitely more resource rich here, and of course the one on top of the natural is mineral only, so this is usually the preferred base here. Yeah, and
it's also easier to defend. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's correct. Also just a small ramp here. Very easy to defend. The first Zealot is out on the map, and it looks like he wants to scout for that. So you can see, of course, DMAX scouted the Zerg. He knows where the Zerg is, but he's still heading to the bottom right position to scout for the third base here, in the natural maybe. And then I think he will go to the actual third base location after that.
Yeah, there was no Overlord here in position to see the Zealot move out, so he doesn't really know there's a Zealot on the map, so something like this, he could definitely get a couple of drone kills here at the third base of Liquid Drone to give himself a little bit of an edge here. And looks like that's where he's headed now. There's only 2 lings, or okay, there's 4 lings on the map,
Yeah.
but these 2 lings are heading towards, looks like the front of DMAX's natural. So this Zealot is going to be a little bit of a surprise to him as it walks in here.
Yeah, and that can do a lot of damage. It doesn't have to kill a drone, but also the delayed mining time is kinda big. So the GeneX just needs to save the Zealot and not lose it to the drones, and now the Zealots come back. But yeah, he killed one drone, he delayed some mining time, he's now trading very nicely against the Zerglings, I think. So
Yeah,
that's a
let's
good
see if he
Zealot.
gets any. Okay, he didn't get any Zergling kills, but he did get one drone, delayed some mining time, so pretty good. Meanwhile, there's 2 more Zealots now coming into the natural base here of Liquid Drone. See if he can get some more drones. He does get one more there. Looks like he's going to get maybe another. Nice pull away. Very nice micro coming out of here from Liquid Drone. Pulling those drones just before they die. Again, wow.
But in the main, one drone is dead, second drone already dead. You can really see, if you don't see that Zealot moving out of the natural, the things just get messy, because of the first Zealot, the Zerglings had to leave the front of the natural, and then he also didn't see the second and third Zealot, so definitely nice moves here by DMax.
Yeah, second, that one Zealot didn't do much, but the Zealot in the main got 3 drone kills, so that's very nice for him. Definitely interrupted some mining time. As long as he stayed on top of everything back at home, he should be fine. Still another Zealot actually here in the third base, but it doesn't look like this one's going to get anything done. It's almost dead already with 0 kills here.
Maybe can get one. Yes.
Oh, nice. So he does get one for his troubles, so that's not bad. Meanwhile, back at Protoss base, looks like he's got Citadel done. Leg speed hasn't quite started yet. But we are going to get Templar Archives out. We do have one Corsair scouting around the map. Just trying to see what's up, although he should know pretty well what he's against, having seen everything with those Zealots earlier.
Oh, and no Hydras around here, so I think he will definitely get that Overlord. There are 2 Hydras spawning out of those X below that, but I think he can definitely get that Overlord if he really sees the HP. And he's doing it. Nice.
Okay. Oh, he's even going to stay here and try and get that other one. Will he be able? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
actually, I stand corrected. Leg speed was already done. So he got really quick leg speed here. And yeah, what does Liquid Drone have to defend here? That's seven Zealots here. 7 Zealots, I guess, get into the natural.
Nice.
Pulling all the
drone
drones
block
for
here.
drone. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but I still think this is doing a lot of damage, so definitely some drones dying, lost mining time, but overall I really like the drone micro.
I do gotta say, I've liked the way DMax has played this game so far. He's felt very like in control, like he's been controlling the pace here with that Zealot harass and this fairly quick +1, or was it even +1? No, he didn't even get the +1.
So. Yeah.
Okay, so that's why the speed was so much quicker. I think he just skipped +1 for a faster Citadel.
Yes.
And speed there. So yeah, I mean, I do like the pace that he's been kind of controlling this, but at the same time, Liquid Drone has done a very good job of defending and holding off, and we can actually see here now, like, he's got more drones. He's very well saturated, so he may be able to take an advantage off of that.
Yeah, so when you do a lot of damage, or you spend a lot of Zealots trying to harass the Zerg and killing drones and so on, it's actually not a too bad situation sometimes if you're not taking too much damage for the Zerg, because if you know, okay, the Protoss is spending more and more and more Zealots, losing them, trying to kill drones, but the Zerg is never losing any fighting units, then he can just make drones non-stop all the time. He doesn't need to refill his Hydras if the Zealots are just sacrificing on the drones. So he has a very big drone count, and I think denying this third base here is putting him so far ahead right now.
Yeah, we do have a Corsair and Shuttle flying in. Looks like he wants to drop a DT maybe into the natural or the main base here of Zerg player. We'll have to see if he can pick up on this. Meanwhile, he is sending his Zealots, which is going to distract Ariador from this DT drop going down. If he does drop that, okay, here it goes now. So we'll have to see if he notices this. A nice drone drill here on the ramp, but is it going to be enough? DT is starting to kill drones in the natural. And so far, Liquid Drone has not noticed how many kills will it get. 4 kills, 5 kills. Like, he may just clear out this mineral line.
Yeah, and this is the perfect thing you can do. When you want to go for a drop, always do it when you do some other move on the map, because then the attention of your opponent is on another position on the map and you can get so much more kills. So he did kill like 9, was it 9 drones
13,
here?
13 drones.
13
I was
drones,
watching.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the Zealots were defended, but even those Zealots did a lot of damage. But I think those Zealots, they actually accomplished so much in just taking the attention away. It's not just about the damage they did directly to Zerg, it's really about the attention. They allowed the DT to kill 13 drones, and that was a big move. And now, if we look at the big picture and the worker count, again, so he just lost 13 probes. I checked the worker count before that, it was also 45. So yeah, Liquid Drone, I mean, he lost 13 drones now, but then he just remade them because he didn't lose any army. So
Yeah.
not sure about this game still.
Yeah, despite that damage, I mean, he needed to do that move to try and get back, but I still think, like you said, Liquid Drone's still ahead here. You can see the supplies are even, which normally favors Zerg. But also, like, what does Protoss even have? He has got a few Zealots that are getting trapped here out on the map that are probably going to get killed by these Hydras. I don't know if he's going to be able to sneak around. And a few Dragoons and a couple of Templars. Like, where is the Protoss army? He doesn't really have much of an army. He is trying to take a third base on that high ground. But if Zerg's aware of that, he can just deny and kind of keep Protoss on 2 bases until they mine out here.
Yeah,
I'm getting a bit worried for him.
Problem, yeah. DMax, he has no army, no big army, because he just spent all of these units the last 10 minutes of, or the last, I don't know, 7 minutes of the game, trying to do economic damage to the Zerg. While the Zerg never lost parts of his army. The Zerg army just grew very slow, but it grew. And mostly, Eriodor just needed to remake drones and not army. He just made a little bit of army every now and then, and his army just grew because he never lost army units. But DMax spent all his army to kill drones, and now he almost has no army, and the drone count and the probe count is still equal now.
He is getting that third base that Overlord does not quite see that Nexus going down. But we do have a bit of an engage here. A couple of nice storms here. I think Protoss army will clean this up. But he does lose all his High Templars.
Yeah, it definitely good storms, but he had 4 High Templars with 2 storms each. And those were definitely not 8 good storms, but they were pretty good. But then again, now he has an army without any High Templars, and if he doesn't refill that with High Templars, I think he could lose that again. And then we are in the same position that we were in game 1. But
taking this gas actually alerts Eriodor or Liquid Drone here of this base going down potentially here. That Overlord does see it now. We do have a bunch of Overlords flying here into the top left. Some of them are loaded with a bunch of Hydralisks and a couple of Lurkers. So we do have a drop coming in from Zerg, but meanwhile we do have Protoss pushing towards that third base of Zerg. He is going to be able to clean up these few Lurkers and Hydras here, but his army is just so far out of way and out of position to deal with this drop. I don't know, will he be able to defend? Like, what is he going to have to stop this drop from destroying his main or doing a lot of damage?
Yeah, I'm not sure. There are a few Zealots, maybe 2 High Templars, but those will not be enough to kill all of these units, I think. If he actually dodges the storms. If he, of course, keeps all the units in that one spot, then 2 storms will clear it, but I don't think it's enough for DMax, so the only chance he can do is counter-attacking, and he's trying that, but you can see it's just not working. The army is just too small.
Yeah, he's going to lose his force here at the Zerg Natch, and he's got nothing left at home to do. He lost his main Nexus, and yeah, rightly so, he just leaves the game, and Liquid Drone takes it down 2-0.
Yes, very... Yeah, I mean... it feels weird, you know, because we always saw DMax doing the active things here. He initiated all the action, he did a lot of damage, we actually saw his units killing stuff all the time. But the big picture is, he always lost the units that he did damage with, And Liquid Drone didn't ever lose the army and could just remake all the drones all the time. And then he was just bigger than DMax at some point. And DMax's army was not big enough. He again did not get that big, dangerous Protoss death ball.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, I'm looking at the chat here. Still nice beginning of the toss and stuff. Like, yeah, definitely was a very nice opening from T-Max. It really felt like he controlled the beginning of the game, but his follow-up wasn't there. Like, he did a lot of damage, but he wasn't. I mean, he felt like a little low on probes throughout that too, but his follow-up wasn't quite there. And like we said, Zerg was just continuing to make these units, not losing any units, although he was losing the drones. Eventually, Zerg just got way too much and was able to overwhelm Protoss, and Protoss never really got to that big death ball army to stamp out some bases or really challenge Zerg's position.
Yep, that is exactly right. Yes, and that means Liquid Drone, aka Eriador, is in the winner's match now, and now we'll find out who the opponent of Eriador is, and also of course DMax is still not out, is in the loser's match here, so we'll find out both of the opponents in the winner's match and the loser's match now in the game between P-Tech versus Dreamer. So can you join?
I'm getting invalid password.
Okay, so we had some problems. There were some problems on Battle.net that people cannot join. So we'll just try again here.
Yeah, we had this issue earlier, but please work. Okay, it worked this time. Good.
Okay, nice. By the way, I one last comment about that last game. I also saw some comment in the chat about why no pro production or something along those lines. Yeah, I have to say, DMax, he stayed on like 32 probes for a very long time while he was harassing the economy of Eriador. I'm not sure if that was actually like an intentional decision that he would just wanted to get more units out faster and do some damage and maybe cripple Eriador, or if he actually didn't have the multitasking to make that to keep the pro production up while he was doing damage on the other side of the map. But we'll find out in the losers match maybe.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on, we do have another Dreamer and P-Tac. We've casted both of these players before. I don't think we casted P-Tac this season, but we did cast him last season. Looked decent. And Dreamer, as many people know, the Russian Protoss, we casted him earlier in this season. So this should be a pretty good match, I would think.
Yes, and we are in the game now, so let's introduce the players here. The map is Benzene, by the way, again, for the first series here of those two players. And in the top right of Benzene, we have our Croatian Zerg. It is P-Tech.
And in the bottom left are a Russian Protoss, Ash Dreamer, in the green.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so little info about Dreamer. I see some comments in the chat. He maybe is not super known. He's definitely an old school player. I remember him back like 15 years ago. He was always around. He was always like a pretty good Zerg player, good player in tournaments. He was there, and he's also using his old clan tech here, MGZ Micro Gamers. So that was a pretty nice old school clan back in the day. So yeah, he was definitely around, and we'll see a strong game from him, I think.
All right, looks like we're gonna have a gateway opening here from Dreamer. Interesting to see. This is a little bit longer rush distance, so there's always the potential that Zerg maybe tries to play a little bit greedier or something, and maybe the Zealot could do a little bit more damage, but also that means that it's a little bit further for the Zealot to travel to Zerg to get some damage done. So we'll have to see. Looks like, yeah, we are going to have a 12 hatch coming out of P-Tac here, and then sending that other drone just to go scout and see what Dreamer's up to.
Yes, and yeah, we see the 12 hatch that is very common for Zergs on Benzene here, because as you mentioned, the distance is so big, and Yeah, usually I don't think you take a lot of damage here because the way is so long, but we'll see. Maybe like Protosses, they don't need to do a lot of damage with this build. This build is just an all-around good build to get the fast Nexus up. You can get the Zealots, you can then get the Nexus even before the Forge, and after the Nexus you place the Forge next to the gateway here on the left side of the choke, and then you just use your Zealots to fill the gaps here in your wall, and then you have a pretty fast, safe Nexus. So it's not like the Protoss has to do damage here.
That's right. But he is sending that Zealot across. Maybe see if he can do a little bit of damage, forcing some Zerglings. And back on Protoss side, we actually have PTAC taking the gas here of Dreamer. The main can definitely be a bit annoying, slow down that gas production. And it looks like he will let that finish, so Dreamer is going to have to kill that off before he's able to take that gas in his main there.
Yeah. Okay, so now you can see, despite the hatch first build, the links are actually out in time before the Zealot can actually reach any drones here. And with good micro, I think the Zerg should not really lose any drones here.
Yep, we'll have to see. Zealot's lost most of his shields here, and so far hasn't gotten a hit off on anything. Just running around, seeing what he can see. And it looks like he probably will get killed off here eventually.
Yep, looks like it's Zealot in the natural, just attacking the hatchery. This will not do anything, I think. He will not be able to kill the hatchery here. But there's another one coming, and if we can combine that with the first... Okay, no, first is dying in this moment. But yeah, so not a single drone kill here. Oh! Oh my god, the drone getting stuck on the gazer here. Well, that was unfortunate here.
So first Zealot gets nothing done, second Zealot gets one drone, so I definitely got to favor PTAC's position a little bit more here. He did defend that quite well. Did he overmake Zerglings though? Probably not. I think he's only got 8, so very nice defense. I think he held that very well and is in a little bit better position, especially because he's really delayed the gas here of Dreamer as well.
Yeah, the links is perfect. He also can use the links to kill out this Zealot here in the bottom right, and he also used 3 Zerglings to kill the Scout Probe. So he really has a good Zergling spread and did a lot of kills. I mean, he killed 3 Zealots and the Probe with like 8 Zerglings. So that's awesome here for him. And yeah, so definitely a good opening here for PTAC, I think, and also the gas steal delays the Protoss big time. But now let's see what Dreamer can do to change that.
Yeah. Excuse me. I would say, like I said, PTAC definitely advantaged here, but not game-ending damage. Like Dreamer can definitely still fight back. The game isn't over by any means. He did take that gas at his natural just to start mining that gas a little bit sooner. This probe is eventually gonna kill that gas in his main, I think, and he'll be able to take that and start getting his gas income going there pretty well. But we do have +1 already started here for Dreamer. So he might be looking to do a quick speed Zealot timing attack rather than go in for that Stargate. Because he's not going to have that gas now for the Stargate for a little bit. And yes, we can see he actually started the Citadel in the natural base. A nice little trick. Seeing the Overlord in the main, not wanting to show his hand, say, hey, look, I'm skipping Stargate for this Citadel right now. Yeah, so he's going to be looking to put on a pretty heavy Zealot pressure timing attack here in a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So for the non-Protoss players of the viewers here, you need 150 for the Stargate, and if you want to get the Stargate, the usual path to get there is you really you collect the first 100 gas and spend that on the Stargate, and then you research the +1. But he already did it when he had 100 gas, so he didn't have enough for the Stargate. I'm curious, usually if you don't see the Stargate in the main with an Overlord, you should fly around immediately. I mean, he's now doing it, but yeah, it's a bit late, but I think it's still early enough.
Yeah, he definitely saw that Citadel and saw no Stargate. Doesn't mean there's not necessarily one somewhere, but he can be pretty confident that what he's facing is this Zealot, especially, seeing that Dragoon. A lot of times Protoss will get that Dragoon when they're going for a build like this just to kill off that Overlord in the main base. So we'll see if PTAC's ready for this. I mean, it's going to be later than it was normally because of the opening, but +1 is getting close to being done here as a speed. So we can see that Dreamer is moving out on the map now with a half a group of Zealots here. And I think PTAC should probably be ready. He's got some units. He's got a Sunken Colony here being morphed at the 3rd and at the natural as well.
Yes, if he just stays defensive here, it should be fine. He has Overlords on the path to see the Zealots. Yeah, to see if the Zealots go to the natural or to the 3rd base here. And yeah, he can see the Zealots now. And he's just very safe behind the Sunken.
Yeah,
so,
speed
okay.
just finished.
+1 is not finished yet. But then again, we have no Zerglings anyways, so... Yeah, but +1 not finished.
Yeah, a couple of Zerglings out now. He does get on top of that Sunken. Will he take that Sunken out at least? It looks like he will, but this was a good trade here for Zerg, I will say. Like,
yeah,
he lost,
definitely.
what, a couple of drones, but and a Sunken? Like, Zerg will take that trade all day, you know. Most of the Zealots there for Dreamer for a Sunken and a drone or something. And meanwhile, he's got quite a few Hydras now here on the map. Not necessarily enough to put on a lot of counter pressure to Protoss. So it looks like maybe he just wants to drone heavier up behind this.
Yeah, it was definitely a good trade for Zerg, but we see the main difference here compared to last game is really the worker count. We see Dreamer already at 44 probes, when at this point, like DNMax was at 30. So Dreamer is trying to do some damage. He's not really successful, but he's getting a very big economy behind that. And with that, if he can secure a 3rd base or so later on, he definitely has the economy to get that big dangerous Protoss death ball. And yeah, so far I think he's in a good spot, even not doing a lot of damage with the Zealots.
All right, DT out on the map now for Dreamer. He's going to sneak past a few Hydras. If PTAC was watching, maybe he could see that shimmer, but that's still very hard to see, so I doubt it. Looks like he's going to try and sneak in. Does pass an Overlord, so another chance that PTAC saw that. Looks like he wants to head towards the 3rd base. Meanwhile, a little Polka in front with the Hydras, just see if he could get some damage done to Dreamer. But seeing a Templar and some units there, it looks like he's just going to go ahead and back off. Question is, how many drones will this DT get now? There's no units here to give him any kind of a heads up. Okay, he does scout that right away. But still 4 kills at least here.
Yeah, that's not bad. He will get like 1 or 2 more at least here. 6 kills, 7 kills. Can he get what, 1 or 2 more? That's already enough damage, I think. Yeah, nice. 8 kills, I think, even.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we have a bunch of mutas flying in the main here. He doesn't really have a lot to defend this. He killed 1 Dragoon, but it looks like he's actually just going to fly out with these mutas. Maybe expecting like a big army to come in of Dragoons or something. I'm kind of curious why he flew out. I feel like he could have definitely done a lot more damage to Dreamer here.
Yeah, but then again, there was a Dragoon and 2 cannons, so yeah, maybe I think he could have killed those, but then he has like 3 Mutalisks left, and then he has no potential to do more damage with them later on, I think.
Yeah, maybe wanted to save him to try and pick off some High Templars or bait out some storms like we just see right there. Oh, that High Templar survives with 1 health. Okay, he's gonna go back in and finish it.
Oh, and forces another storm. So yeah, this is, I think, like, killing High Templars is so nice for Zerg. This is so much more important than like killing the 2 cannons in the main base or so. So yeah, good job here. But I mean, in the end, it was 1 High Templar killed. But Dreamer also doesn't have a lot of High Templars. He only has like 2 of them right now. So that's a bit weird, I have to say. He has a lot of goons. So he's going for that big gateway heavy army. That usually works pretty well if you have upgrades as well. And he is getting those double upgrades. He's almost at 2-0. Let's see what the Zerg is doing here.
Yeah. Just another thing to add on to about Dreamer, a lot of that low High Templar count probably goes back to his late gas or delayed gas, right? Where Zerg stole his gas. And the fact that he's getting double upgrades, I mean, that eats into his gas as well. So he can't really afford a lot of High Templars. I mean, maybe he could go with a few less goons and a few more zealots. just to get a couple more High Templars out. But meanwhile, we do have the Mutas flying back in here, looking to get some damage done. Picks off a Dragoon and a Probe, just scouting around, seeing how many gateways there are here for Protoss, and before flying back out. Let's see, on the Zerg side, we're still on 3 bases here, but he's massing up a bunch of Hydras back at home. Another High Templar pickoff, so there are no High Templars here with the army of Dreamer. It's still a fairly sizable army, but without any High Templars, Mass Hydra can definitely overwhelm this.
Yes, so that's the plan here for Zerg, killing the High Templars and getting enough Hydras to just kill the army. But if he lets Dreamer get on this high ground with that big Dragoon force, then I think he's losing his third, actually. So the Hydras are still far away in the natural, but let's see where Dreamer is heading to. Still looking for High Templars, can't find any more High Templars, so it's High Templarless army, so let's see how that goes. It's a big army anyways.
We'll have to see how the engage goes. So half of Zerg's army isn't in this fight, he is bringing it down now. But if Protoss can take out the first half, he'd be in a good spot. But it looks like there's just too much Zerg. He's just coming in on all angles. He's just going to swarm this Dragoon army. And he's just going to destroy this. And now it's looking bad for Dreamer. Like, you'd never really want to lose this big army for no damage. I mean, he's taking a 3rd base at home, maybe if he can get that set up. Especially because Zerg is still only on 3 bases himself. But losing all that army, and he's still losing army actually. These Mutas chasing it down, killing a couple more High Templars, killing off the rest of the Dragoons. A little bit of a storm there, but now he has no air units to shoot up. These Mutas can deny this 3rd base attempt, it looks like.
Yeah, the cannons are not up. So he started the cannons after he lost the army. And that is sadly a bit too late. And now he will lose his 3rd. He's not cancelling. But there are no anti-air units, so he's just losing it. There are like 3 goons popping out of the gateways. That will not help against these Mutalists. And if he loses this 3rd base, I think he's also losing the game, because there are a lot more units coming for P-Tech here.
Yeah. This might even be game ending here. Like, I don't see any observers. I mean, there's here with this army. Where are any observers? Like, he's just gonna lose this whole army, right? Like, and with that, I think the game.
Yeah, definitely. So this is exactly why you don't go for a stormless army. Doesn't matter how big it is, you will lose to an evenly matched Zerg if you don't have storms in your armies. That's just how StarCraft works, and we can see it here perfectly fine. And yeah, a bit too many goons maybe, a bit too few High Templars. But then again, P-Tech did a very good job with those Mutalists, picking off the High Templars.
Yep. Well, GG is called, so P-Tech does take game number 1. Can Dreamer bring it back and force a game 3, or will P-Tech move on to face Liquid Drone in the winner's match?
Could be a ZVZ. We are 1 game away from the ZVZ and the PvP series.
Will it be a ZVZ though?
Wait, am I... no, never mind.
He race picks.
Exactly, yeah. The race picker, you're right. Okay, but we have the PvP in the losers match at least. That's usually a matchup that most people don't really like, so I'm still hoping for a comeback here of Dreamer. But looks like...
Alright. I'm getting invalid password again.
Yep, I'm changing the name again. Maybe that works.
We'll just have to change the name every game or something. Let's see.
Yeah, I will just do it next time, yeah.
Yeah, it works.
Perfect.
Weird how that works out, but okay.
That's just how StarCraft works. It's an old game. You have to accept.
Yeah. Just have to accept these little problems with it. Alright, well. Looks like this map will be Eclipse, which would have been Dreamer's choice, right?
Yes, that should be the case. And we have the game loaded, and we are going into it right now. Okay, so in the top right corner of Eclipse, we have our Protoss down 1 game. It is Dreamer.
Alright, and in the bottom left, our White Zerg 1 game away from advancing to the winner's match. It is P-Tech.
Okay. So let's see if he goes for the gateway first again. We talked about that last game. Benzene has a very long rush distance, so it wasn't really successful. On Eclipse, I think that's a bit of a different story. I think you can definitely get something done with that build on this map.
Yeah, I do gotta say it's maybe a little bit longer than some map, but it's definitely shorter than Benzine, I would say. It does look like he maybe wants to go for a forge opening here, sending that first probe out right away to go scout Zerg. But we'll have to see. Placing that pylon down and scouting. Meanwhile, Zerg has started his overlord, so they're looking at maybe an overpool, maybe like a 12 hatch. And it looks like it will, yes, be not overpool. Okay, he's just scouting for maybe a proxy in his base. Oh, hiding the drone to get around this probe. Okay, I like it.
Yeah, but looks like it's not really quite working because the
No.
probe is going back. Oh, yeah, he's still waiting. He's doing a good job. Dreamer definitely in a perfect position with the probe. But now he went out
Oh,
of position and the drone sneaks around.
nice little play there. But looks like he will go ahead and do a 12 hatch and get that down.
Oh, will
Now
we
with
see the
this
cannon
forge,
rush?
yes, he could definitely do a cannon rush here. He does have the forge. And yes.
Ooh.
All right. We're going to see a cannon rush come down here now for Dreamer. Oh, but PTAC didn't scout it with that drone. He went partially behind the minerals. I don't think he scouted that, did he?
I think he did. I think he was below the
Did he?
hedge for a second there. I think he should
Okay,
have seen
maybe.
it.
Okay, maybe he did. But he's not pulling any drones yet, so that makes me think he didn't. Okay, here comes a drone now. He is definitely going to see this now.
Yeah, I think pulling drones doesn't really help. You will not be able to kill the pylons in time. It has no point. So now he's just
once
catching.
that cannon goes down. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But now actually
So,
Dreamer could just cancel his cannons as well, and yeah, he's canceling one cannon, and he's just waiting until this cannon is probably 99% done, and then he's canceling that as well. So really denying this expansion spot for the longest time possible.
yeah, and oh, it's warping in now. He is gonna let it finish.
Okay.
Just gonna force a kill on that at least, and it can. I mean, it could trade out a couple of lings, force the lings to stay at home. Meanwhile, he's got the Nexus down back at home. He's got his cannon coming up. We do have that gas steal again coming out of PTAC, taking the gas here in Dreamer's main just to slow down that gas mining. So it seems like a move he likes to do here.
Yes. Yeah, so where is PTech getting his third? Will he actually kill that cannon, or will he just choose another spot? I think with Dreamer letting the cannon outside of the pylons finish, it's so much easier for PTech to clear it. He can just attack that with like 5 circlings and it's down. But if he still had the cannon between the pylons, it would be so much harder.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we'll see some kind of a 2-hatch build, and just as I was about to say that, he throws down a Hydralisk Den here off 2-hatch. So he's gonna want to be quite aggressive here early on. One move I did notice coming out of PTAC is he did scout his third base here with those lings just to make sure there's no cannons going down in there as well. But we do have that third hatchery coming down now in the third base location of PTAC. So this looks like it's going to be a variation of a 3-hatch Hydra.
Yes, that could be, but it should be kind of obvious for Dreamer, I think, because he can still see there's no base in the natural of the Zerg, and he also, oh my god, he slipped through. Oh wow.
That's so unfortunate for him.
I just want to talk about how that he sees no third base here in the natural. He also scouted the usual fourth base position for no base, so then he could assume that there's some aggressive 2 base build coming, but then he just slips through and confirms it anyways with the probe, so it's now he knows it for sure.
Yeah, and he is going to see that there's a third hatchery here at the third base. So, excuse me, he should be perfectly fine. I mean, he knows what he's up against now. So delaying that base from PTAC, he knows what he's up against. I gotta say, like, this is looking good or better for Dreamer now.
Yes. So question in chat, how did he get through? What's the right way to position? Yeah, there was just a little gap with those weird ramps. Sometimes they look a bit weird. There's maybe a spot where you can slip through where you think there's not, but you just have to learn it a bit, and then you usually place your units correctly. But with two Zerglings, it's maybe a bit hard sometimes. That can happen to the best of us.
Yeah, that one lane needed to be over to the left just a little bit more, but now PTAC is just going to go ahead and clean up these 2 pylons and cannon here and take his 3rd base at his natural.
Yep.
And not even supply blocking Dreamer there, so pretty heads up. Although, in saying that, he doesn't have another pylon on the way, so he is going to be supply blocked for a little bit at least.
Yeah, but with only a production of 1 gateway and 2 nexus, we can't forget the pro production. Yeah, but it's not too bad. I mean, he didn't go for like a 4 gateway super fast zealot all-in or something like that. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing. He is still not upgrading his +1. He has no Stargates, but he's upgrading zealot speed. So is this a upgradeless zealot speed attack? I'm not sure.
We kind of saw that earlier in a game too, right? Where he got the fast speed and no one. So maybe there's something like this. We'll have to see. I think maybe he's expecting, seeing the 3-edge Hydra, that he might lose the Forge, and he's just going to go for fast Zealots to counter it. Oh, see, he is starting +1 now, so maybe feeling like he can save it at this point. He probably will lose this Gateway, however. Meanwhile, back on PTAC's side, he does have a lair finished up. What is the plan with the lair? It doesn't look like lurker upgrades are on the way. Okay, he's going to go ahead and throw to Spire now as a follow-up, and he's continuing to produce some more Hydras.
Yeah, I could see the same tactics, the same strategy that PTAC used in game 1 of those 2 players, that he just wants to get the nice Hydra flock to pick off the High Templars. I mean, why would you change it if it worked so well in the first game? There's a high chance it works again, so I think that's what we'll see here. But definitely a little bit of a different road to this position in this game.
Yeah. Another question in the chat is Hatch.
You are cut off sometimes a bit. I'm not sure if you could be heard here.
I was just started reading the question there in the chat about 3 hatch on 2 base. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely do that. It's going to have a little weaker follow-up, because normally you'd see that if you're going to be more committed to it or something, because you're not going to have that 3rd base up and running to mine from. You can still definitely do it. It's just going to be like a weaker follow-up, especially if Protoss defends it.
Yeah, and so let's look at the big picture here. So we have almost double supply for Dreamer. We also almost have double probe count for Dreamer. We already have 6 gateways, and we have the Storm researching. On PTAC's side, we have the first Mutilus building. So, like, if I just look at the numbers, I think Dreamer's in a very good position here. The drone count is still rather low for PTAC, but if PTAC can execute this High Templar sniping as well as he did in the first game, I think we could have a pretty nice even game here.
Yeah, it feels like these Mutas could do a lot of damage. Like, there's no cannons in the main. Like, Dreamer is not really ready for this at all. All he has is some cannons at his natural and a couple of High Templars. So we'll have to see what he wants to go for. He could pick off those High Templars, or he could just go into the main and completely just destroy that probe line.
Yeah, I noticed this phenomenon in some games. The Zergs just expect cannons to be there, and they don't even fly in there sometimes. It's so funny. So sometimes you have no cannons at all as a Protoss, and you still completely survive because the Zerg is not even checking the main.
Well, we'll have to see. He did pick off quite a few probes there at the natural, but we do have a fair-sized army coming across the map here for Dreamer. High Templars are lagging behind a little bit, though. The Mutas are kind of looking for that, but they're running into a couple of Dragoons. So we'll have to see if he can get a couple good storms on the high ground on these Hydras or at the natural. Looks like he's deciding he wants to go for the natural, maybe a little bit easier to attack into, not up of a ramp and a little bit wider. So we'll see. There are a couple Sunkens here and a decent number of Hydras, but there's just so many Zealots. I don't think this is going to be enough, especially if the Storms land. Okay, Muta's coming back now.
Ooh. Yeah, but you can see, no real anti-air here for Dreamer. This Archon is getting picked off, and overall, what did he lose? I think the drones were pulled away, right? So, or did he actually lose them? I'm not sure.
Maybe. I'm not sure either, actually. Because he looks pretty low on drones.
Yeah. Maybe they got killed. Then, of course, yeah, if I look at the work account, I guess it was successful. But he again lost his whole army. We see Protoss again and again in this stream, today's cast here, losing the whole army for some economic damage. And so far, it has not worked out here. And now he's losing High Templars.
Yeah, Muta's gonna fly in and pick off a couple more High Templars here. Will it get the other one? Looks like he will. He's gonna lose most of his Mutas for it. Or all of them? Okay, one does get out. But does Dreamer have enough? This is a lot of Hydras. There's a lot of cannons. The cannons definitely do damage quickly, but there's no Storms here. I think Dreamer will be able to hold, it looks like, yes.
Yeah.
And that might have even been what he needed to have happen, because I think Zerg was starting to run away with this game after destroying his army. But Zerg lost a decent amount of units in that attack as well, so it may have evened things out a little bit more, especially because Zerg is on solo drones, and actually he's continuing to produce Hydras at home. So it almost feels like he's kind of going a little bit all in here. Okay, there is a ground of drones coming out now that he will be able to send to his natural, so maybe he's not quite all in, but yeah, both players kind of trading a little bit of blows there.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it again and again, you can't really fight the Zerg without High Templars. But then again, this attack was a bit too optimistic, I think, because there are a lot of cannons. He had a lot of goons also in a nice concave here. Even on top of the high ground, there were goons shooting shooting the Hydras at the bottom, and this was just this wonderful concave of ranged attacks here by Dreamer. And if you have that beautiful concave, then you can even kill a lot of Zerg units without Storm.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like PTAC wanted to go for the kill there. Like, it felt like he thought, okay, I killed most of his army, I killed his High Templars, I can probably just kill him here, and made a bunch of Hydras. But looking at this now, it probably would have been better served if he just made drones instead. Droned up his base, got his economy back and on track. So as it is now, like, I want to say this game almost evened out a little bit, so it's probably going to go on for a little bit longer now. We'll have to see. He's still got those Mutas alive, so he's still going to be able to pick off some High Templars. Dreamer's definitely going to have to be wary of that and look out for it. Looks like they're going to fly in maybe towards the natural and try and get some more probe kills. Or now they're heading towards the army. See if they can't pick off some more High Templar.
There are only 2 High Templars on the map right now, and if we can find those, we again have a Templarless Protoss. I really hope he's making some more. I don't see some. He's just making more goons. So it's really, I'm really a bit confused that the Protosses are not getting so many High Templars.
Yeah, I mean, we also gotta say, like, PTAC's done a really good job with those Templar snipes in both of these games, right? Like, his Muta control has been very on point, and he just flies in, kills those Templars, and these Protosses aren't protecting them well enough. So it kind of shows the weakness of doing a Serless style or low Ser style. You kind of need something else to fight it, maybe like Archon in there, or you often see some Protosses get like a Dark Archon just to Maelstrom the Muta group to avoid this kind of thing from happening. But as we see again, like, he just flies in there and picks up all the High Templars once again, and now this Protoss army has 0 High Templars.
Yeah, it's insane. So definitely, if you're like a good player and you have a chance to play in tournament and reach the rounds to play PTAC yourself, I think you know what to do. I think you need to go for that anti-mutalist strategy with Corsairs or Dark Archons. So, because it looks like that's really his go-to strategy. Even after losing the initial group of mutalists, he just rebuilt another group, and he's always going for that High Templar snipes.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see he does a really good job at it. He keeps denying Dreamer from having any High Templars in his army here. Like, Dreamer's army is quite large still, I do gotta say, but without the storms, if P-Tech can amass enough Hydras, he can just overwhelm it. Looks like he's flying in, looking for some more High Templars, so definitely staying really on top of that, but Dreamer is going to try and get that third base up and running, which he definitely needs. I mean, his main base is mined out. His natural only has about 500 per patch left, so about 1/3 left. Oh, but the mutas are going to find this and be able to at least kill that cannon and probably deny this base. Because Dreamer is going to go for a counter, yeah.
Yeah, this also means this counterattack is going across the map and the High Templars are getting close to the Hydras. So if the High Templars can get the storms off on the Hydras, that's all they need to do. But yeah, the mutas arrive and they kill the High Templars once again.
Does get one storm off on those mutas, killing one of them, but not really enough. Alright, well, we'll have to see. This is still a very large Protoss army, and what does Zerg have to fight this off? There are some lurkers, but there are couple of observers ready this time.
Oh, they're not burrowed.
And only half the Zerg army is engaging. If Protoss is able to fight this army half at a time, that's going to go way better for him. Looks like he is going to kill all the Hydras at the... So will he be able to overrun this? Like, all the mutas are going down. Despite having no High Templars, he may be able to overrun the Zerg army still.
The lurkers were just not participating here. The last two lurkers just now burrow when the fight is almost over. So, it's crazy. He had like 8 lurkers, only like 2 of them actually fought in this fight. But you can still, P-Tech is still winning it in the end.
Yeah, that was pretty close. Could you imagine if he had even like 2 storms with that?
Yeah.
That would have gone so much better. Like Protoss definitely would have won that fight, even with 2 storms. But P-Tech staying on top of that, and now Dreamer loses his entire army. So it's not looking great for him. I mean, he does get his third base up, which is nice. He is mining from that. We'll be mining that gas shortly. Okay, there we go. But will he have enough? Like, Zerg defended this. Okay, they're both on 3 bases, so that's something Dreamer's got going for him. But we'll see. Looks like maybe an attack towards that third base. Okay, Zerg's going to just turn around.
Yeah. The important point was definitely that the mutas had to turn around. It couldn't really kill off the third base, and so in between this fight, he was able to get this third base up and defend it with cannons. So now he's in a good position with the third base, and if he can deny the force here that he's actually doing right now, that's a very good position for Dreamer.
Yeah, P-Tech's just going to cancel that, realizing he's not going to be able to get the units over there to save it in time. So, I mean, yeah, if he can keep this 3 base... Oh, very nice storms there. Killing a good group of Hydras and doing some damage to those lurkers. But yeah, as I was about to say, if Dreamer can keep this 3 base to 3 base, then he's got a real shot to win this game.
Yeah, that is true. So we definitely need to see P-Tech getting another base up somewhere. I don't think he can actually survive 3 base versus 3 base, even if he kills all the High Templars all the time. I still think 3 base against 3 base should not be winnable for the Zerg, so he definitely needs to get another base. Maybe in the bottom right, but we already see a pylon there. So Dreamer is very aware of this situation, and he knows, okay, if he can just deny any 4th base from going up, he will win this game.
That's true, but as we say that, it looks like a bunch of lurkers and a couple of Hydras moving towards that 4th base location for P-Tech. There is a drone there, so it looks like he is getting ready to take this. Going down. Meanwhile, on Dreamer's side, we got a decent-sized army, looks like moving out onto the map here. Only a couple of Dragoons, so lurkers may be able to shred through this. And there are quite a few lurkers on P-Tech's side, so we'll have to see how this fight goes here.
Yeah, but also a lot of storms this time. So he has like 5 Templars. Some of them get their 2nd storm soon, or at least one of them. Oh, but he can't just run into them. But I think he can actually take this fight pretty well, because a lot of the lurkers are at the 4th base. So if he just pre-storms them and then attacks, it should be pretty good.
And it looks like he's doing exactly that here. Getting a... Yeah, okay, those storms were both nice, getting damage on a lot of these lurkers. Okay, he's gonna run in now. I kind of wish P-Tech had brought his other lurkers back here. Does he have enough to defend this now? He lost all those lurkers. What does he have? He's bringing in a few units from behind and a few units in front, but will he hold this off?
I don't think so. There are no units here in the natural. Drones are getting slaughtered by that storm. And I think now this position is already breached and the lurkers are very bad at coming to a position to defend if they are not already there, and there's nothing left for PTech to GG.
All right, a couple of nice games, and we do have a game 3 here between these. Yeah, as we thought, this was definitely a pretty good match here.
Yes, and I mean, it looked quite promising for when we saw the High Templar snipes again for PTech, but as you mentioned during the game, he kinda maybe spent a little bit too much resources to get an army that he kinda lost attacking into the natural in the end. And his drone count was not up there most of the time, and he also didn't secure fourth. So in the end, a 3-base Protoss was able to defeat a 3-base Zerg here. Okay, let's go for the next game here. Meanwhile, we have some questions or some comments in the chat. You guys think that Cannon Rush got him too behind? I actually don't think so. In my opinion, the Cannon Rush was pretty fine. He kept the Zerg on 2 bases for... you probably mean... okay, you probably mean that the Zerg is behind. In that case, I agree, yes. I agree that keeping the Zerg on 2 bases for a long time is definitely hurtful for the Zerg, and I think Dreamer got a bit ahead because of that.
Invalid password again, by the way.
Yep, I'm already remaking with another name.
At least the new name thing works. So, all right.
Okay. Okay, and with that, we can start the game here.
Looks like this map is Polypoid, which will have been PTAC's choice.
Yes. Okay, game is loaded. Let's go into it. Okay. Here in the top right corner, we have our Zerg player, PTech.
All right, and in the top left, we have our green Dreamer.
Okay, so Overlord is scouting in the direction of the closest natural, and he will find the Protoss there immediately, if he actually goes for the natural and not does a 1-base play.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. Looks like he will be going for that natural. That probe is heading towards the natural now. Question will be, will he want to go for gateway opening or forge opening? And it looks like he's probably going to go for the forge. And he is going to scout Zerg first as well. Now, I do got to say, when he went forge in the other game is the one game he won. When he went gateway, it was the game he lost. So maybe that's weighing in on him a little bit here. He's like, okay, I won when I went forge first, so I'm just going to go ahead and do forge first again this game.
Could be the case, yeah. I think the big factor was the map as well. Benzene with the long rush distance, but yeah, if he thinks the forge is suiting him better, then of course that can be true as well. And now he's harassing the drones with the scout probe. So this is always a good feeling to scout the Zerg very early, because now you know when to make the cannon. You exactly know that you can get your nexus early, for example, if you don't see a pool early. Or if you see the pool early, you know how many probes you can make, how late you can delay the cannon to be safe anyways.
Yeah, and this time we do see PTAC actually going for an overpool. I believe he went 12 hatch in other games. So maybe thinking he needs a little bit here as well. Could be map dependent too. Because the other two were 2-player maps and he went for it. Oh, are we going to get the drone kill? That was close. A couple of hits away there.
Yeah, still delaying. We see PTech at over 400 here and still no natural up. Okay, now gets it up here. And the first links are in production. 6 Zerglings here. Will they do anything? I don't think so, because the cannon's now going up. Of course, you can see the eggs with the probe. So as a Protoss, you always want to see what comes out of the eggs, because some Zergs will also just make drones all the time and maybe only get 2 Zerglings to chase the probe away. Some Zergs are actually saving up 3 Larva intentionally, but then still get 2 drones and 1 pair of Zerglings to make the Protoss think he's getting 6. But in this case, there are 6 Zerglings and they're not really doing anything. So that's nice for Dreamer.
Yeah, even getting that second cannon just to be extra safe against those 6lings. Don't want them running in and sniping that 1 cannon and then snowballing the game. So yeah, what will be the follow-up plan here? It looks like Dreamer's keeping that probe aligned, although he does come out of the main, which can be a little bit dicey. Now it gives PTAC some options. Like he could hide a Hydra Den behind this, he could go for a lair, and Dreamer's not really going to know that. So he's going to be playing a little bit blind here. And it's never really a comfortable position as Protoss if you don't know what Zerg is up to.
Yeah, but he is trying to scout the third base now, and I think he will not get it, but I think with Zerglings here on this ramp, trying to flank him, he should assume that the third base is actually there.
Yeah. Alright, okay. So what will be the plan?
Yeah, he just started mining gas, just right now. I felt like maybe a bit late, I'm not sure, but it looks like we don't have +1 too soon. Here, let's see what he is doing when he has 100 gas, but so far it looks like a Stargate.
Yeah, we did see him go excuse me, for that +1 first previously, or in the other games, but it looks like he is saving up his gas for the Stargate this game, like you mentioned. Okay, Cybercore is done, and there goes the Stargate. All right, so we are going to have a Corsair opening coming out of him this game. But it does look like we are having 3-hatch Hydra on PTAC side here.
Yes, and yeah, so far there are no units on the map for Dreamer to scout this, so he has to wait for that Corsair, but this Corsair could be too late. There's always like a little bit of a time where the Zerg can run across the map with a few Hydras just before the Corsair is out to scout it. So a good choice for Protoss sometimes is to send another probe out, try to get that scout information, or even send out your Zealots. So especially if you have 2 cannons, you're pretty safe in your natural, so he could send out those 2 Zealots to get the scout information. But so far he's not doing it, so those Hydras could do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, usually if you're scouting that it's 3-hatch Hydra with, excuse me, with your first Corsair, oftentimes that means it's too late, right? And so we may end up seeing like PTAC being able to bust Dreamer here if he doesn't catch wind of this soon. I mean, that Corsair is going to be out. There are no Hydras moving across the map just yet, but they are about to pop. Okay, he is going to send his Zealots out now. So we'll have to see if he can notice any Hydras coming out with these Zealots or with his Corsair and get some extra cannons down here right away.
Ooh, oh, this could be dangerous. He's turning around the Zealots and he's also not flying the Corsair across the map. So this is a choice that the Protoss has to make. Will you get the scouting information, or will you play maybe a little bit risky and get that Overlord kill, but not get the scouting information? And this could really kill him here. Now he just sees the Hydras, but it's too late.
He's only got 2 cannons. He's like really pulling probes, but is this going to be enough? Like, it feels like this is going to be too late, right? If Zerg just goes.
Yeah, the Hydra's speed is not done. Yes, range already. No speed yet. Oh, and well, if he loses some Hydras before the actual fight happens, then of course the Dreamer could be fine here. But usually we see the Zerg just running very close to the wall and sniping the cannons. He has range and speed now, so he can definitely do that, but so far he's not.
He's actually letting Dreamer get some more cannons up here, so yeah. I definitely feel like he could have stopped these cannons from coming out and potentially even won the game here. He is quite supply blocked though, so he isn't going to be able to produce Hydras. Those Corsairs doing a good job of killing some Overlords, so actually, I mean, it looked dangerous. Oh, he's going to move in with the Hydras. Yeah, I think that's too late now.
Yeah, he let too many cannons finish. He could do the same when there were only 2 cannons, I think. He had like, was it like 7 or 8 Hydras? And he just waited for too long. He lost like 1 or 2 Hydras for free by not being out of range of the cannon. And now he kinda missed the chance, and Dreamer's totally fine, and he's doing damage with the Corsairs.
Yeah, I mean, now you gotta feel this is maybe a little bit more Dreamer favored. I mean, he didn't lose to the 3-hatch Hydra. There's no 4th or anything yet from P-Tac. He's getting a 4th hatchery in his natural, and the Evo chamber up now while starting the lair. But yeah, I mean, I like Dreamer's position. It looked like he was maybe going to die, but he does defend that. Certainly, he's not in a spot that he's just going to win this game, but we'll have to see where the follow-up is. He has got quite a few Overlords. Looks like he's going to find another one here.
Yes, and that's very nice. He already killed 3 of them. Now this is the 4th Overlord that is dying. A total of 3 causes. So 1 died earlier, but he did only make 3 causes, which is not like a lot of causes, but he's still killing a lot of Overlords. So he's even getting a 5th Overlord here with only making 3 causes. So that is huge for Dreamer.
Yeah, it's just giving him a little bit more of an edge here. We do have a DT sneaking around. I don't think he's going to be able to get much damage done at 3rd base if that's where it's headed, which it looks like it is. I wondered maybe if it was just going to try and scout a potential 4th base coming out. But yeah, DT is going to sneak in and probably... Okay, it's not going to get killed off, but it's not going to get anything done. Meanwhile, those cores are still flying around looking to see if they can find any stray Overlords. Nothing to be found, but I guess he must have killed another one because P-Tac was supply blocked there for a second.
Yes, so those causes really did so much damage, and yeah, I think that definitely gives Dreamer the edge here. But if I look at the worker count, it's not too far apart. So I definitely think P-Tech can come back here, and we'll see if he is doing the same thing. So he's getting the Spire again. So I think we'll just see the same thing here, like a round of 11 Mutalisks or so when the Spire's done. And then he goes for some High Templar Snipe. So far, not a single anti-air unit for Dreamer.
Yeah,
Except
I mean, we can
those
see...
causes, of course.
Yeah. We can see that P-Tag is banking up a lot of gas here. He is mining off of 3 gases. So I would expect something like that. However, he is also getting a Lurker upgrade, so we could just see Lurker follow up as well. Let's see, looks like we have Dreamer getting ready for maybe a Storm drop. He's got a couple of High Templars loaded up into a shuttle here. Flying his Corsairs across the map, just making sure the pathway is clear for his drop. And he's going to pick up that DT as well, looks like. And try and get some harass done. Knowing that Overlord speed is delayed too. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely a nice play if you know Zerg is delaying lair, because you know that Overlord speed is going to be delayed. So especially if you can pick off the Overlords in the main, you can maybe get a lot of damage. All right, another Overlord's going to go down maybe.
Oh.
And he's dropped.
And another one.
Dropping out those DTs and High Templars. This is just brutal for P-Tac here. He's losing a bunch of drones to that TT now.
Yeah, wow. This is so much damage. 5 drones dead. And the 3 causes, I have to repeat it again. He only made 3 causes, but he killed like 8 Overlords. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
Another 8 drones there at the natural, looks like. P-Tag is taking a 4th base, and it's kind of towards Protoss, but you got to feel for him. It feels like Dreamer's getting more and more ahead. Like, we got no upgrades actually on the way for Dreamer, but he is on 1-1, so I think he's just going to, like, get up an army, maybe 1 or 2 more rounds of units, and then just go across the map and probably kill P-Tag. Like, I don't know if he's going to have enough to defend this push.
Yeah, so the only hope for P-Tech to defend this incoming attack is, I think, really this positioning on the high ground that could help him to defend this, because Dreamer is very goon heavy, and well, goons miss half of the shots fighting to the high ground, and that could mean that P-Tech will defend it in the end. So Dreamer has to be a little bit careful where he attacks.
Yeah, but there's only 3 Lurkers burrowed here so far. He is moving up with the rest of his army. This time Dreamer does have Storms with his army, so we'll have to see how the Storms are. Very nice Storm. It looks like he's going to kill those 3 Lurkers. Oh, one has 1 health. Okay, there we go. And yeah, I think this is just it. Like, P-Tac has no army really to defend this.
Yeah, now it's definitely too late, I think. Now P-Tech has to fight from the low ground, and I think that is not possible anymore. Yeah, nice game by Dreamer.
So that's what a game from Dreamer looks like if he doesn't lose all his high Templars to Mutalisks.
Yeah,
No,
definitely good storms.
nice played. No, so yeah, I think we're just waiting for the GG here, honestly. But yeah, I don't think P-Tag's definitely not eliminated. He goes to the losers match, still has a chance to win in the losers match and move up. And Dreamer will be going on into that winners match to face Liquid Drone for another PVC.
And we have the TZT for PTech, whatever that means. But yeah, we can really see that this initial Hydra, I don't want to say it all in, but like very aggressive early game strategy by PTech with the early Hydras definitely put him behind, and he was not able to play his usual games with Mutalist ball sniping Templars. He was just a bit too slow for that, and the attack by Dreamer hit already before he could get that Mutalist flock. So yeah, nice game by Dreamer, nice defense.
Yeah, it really felt like he kind of missed his timing with those Hydras there. Like we were saying, he probably could have killed a couple of those cannons and snowballed that game there. But he killed the wall instead, giving Dreamer enough time to get those cannons up, and then Dreamer was able to just straightforward get a nice mid-game army and attack there and just run him over, especially with all that harass. Like, he did so much damage with that really slowed P-Tac down. So, very nice game.
Yes, and now we have the winners match between Liquid Drone, aka Riador, versus Ash Dreamer.
Yeah, these were the two favorites on that vote in the Discord for BSL. These were the two favorites to make it out of this group. So they're both in the winners match. So maybe one of them's definitely going to advance here.
Yes, and we'll see who that is. At least who gets the first win here in the first game on Neo Sulfate. The game is ready, and we jump into it. Okay, so it is a ZVP, so yeah, just the same that we saw earlier. Eriador just playing Zerg against Protoss. We have not seen him play Protoss so far. But yeah, he's there in the top position in the black color.
And on the left, in green, as he has been in every game, it is Dreamer.
Okay, so let's remember back the initial games of Riador. I think he just played usually very conservative. I think he's more of a defensive Zerg player, like economy heavy player. He already got he always got a lot of drones. We saw him also on Neo Sulfate, like taking so much drone losses, but still was able to get up in the work account. So Eriador definitely a very economy heavy player, and maybe that's a little bit of a different style compared to PTech. Let's see how that works.
Yep. Well, this time Dreamer is going to go for that gateway expand opening, and he sees that Overlord coming from Liquid Drone's base, so he knows exactly what spawn location he is in, and he's going to send that probe there and scout and see what's up, which we can see is just an overpool and a gas here, it looks like.
Yes, and that will be scouted here. By the way, I changed the colors to red and blue now because the black was kind of hard to see on the minimap.
I know playing against black's always annoying. All right. So we got red and blue.
Yeah, definitely for all the players there who are actively playing the game and laddering and so on. Some of the new players maybe not know that, but you can actually switch the colors of your own games with shift and tap. If you press it twice, you can change the colors so that you are always green in every game and your opponent is always red. So that makes it a lot easier to see incoming Mutalists, incoming dropships, whatever on the minimap. So definitely do that in your games.
Well, it looks like Dreamer was able to deny that hatchery a little bit. But yeah, so we got gas coming out here, or 100 gas mined from Liquid Drone. He hasn't started the link speed or anything with that gas yet, so it's kind of interesting to see.
Yeah.
Maybe just wanting to drone up more instead of using those minerals on link speed.
Yeah, but then again, he's also making some more Zerglings, so he's getting like 2 more Zerglings here. Let's see what he's doing now. Oh, he now used the gas, so now he's actually starting the Zealot here, the Zergling speed. And he is trying to do some damage on the wall, but with 3 Zealots out and the cannon already going up, there should be no damage possible for Eriador. But that also means, of course, that the Nexus is a bit later for Dreamer.
Yeah. All right, he's got his 400 minerals now, so we will see that Nexus being thrown down. Meanwhile, it looks like Eriador or Liquid Drone does want to go ahead and take his third base, sending a drone over here to the close third base at that mineral only.
Yes, and this probe is still not dead. I mean, the link speed will finish soon, so I think this will be the end of the probe scouting. But so far, it's still nice to see for Dreamer that, I mean, he scouted the early gas. He scouted that Eriador was mining gas and then stopped mining gas, and he still sees no lair. So he 100% knows it's Zergling speed, and he knows it can't be like fast Mutalist or so.
Yeah, it's almost interesting to see he still moved out with the Zealot, knowing it was linked, but there weren't a ton of Zerglings out. Able to trade very well, and he actually kills all of the links here. He is eventually going to lose these Zealots, but I think the damage has been done. Like, he forced more Zerglings, he killed quite a few Zerglings as well, so not a bad trade there for Dreamer.
Yes. Meanwhile, third base going up, of course, and the tech of Dreamer. What will it be? I'm not sure, but I feel like the gas mining started a bit late again. So the core's finishing at 80 gas here. So the Stargate needs to wait a bit, or is he going for the Citadel? Looks like 150 for the Stargate. There it goes.
I'm really interested on what Liquid Drone wants to do here, because he put one drone back on gas for a little bit. He mined some gas, but he didn't even mine 150, and he pulled it off again without starting a lair. So, I mean, it looks like he just wants to mass up hatcheries and drones here. Possibly going for some kind of a 4 or 5 hatch Hydra. And yeah, as I say that, he throws down that Hydralisk Den. So It looks like that is probably the plan here, but yeah, all right. We'll see what Dreamer wants to do with this. He is going to have that Stargate finishing up, so he will be able to scout this once he gets that Corsair out.
Yeah, it could be like a very like Hydra heavy push coming for Eriador, but it could also be just like 2 or 3 Hydra at every expansion to be safe against DTs or Corsairs there, and then just a lot of drones behind it. Still open here, but yeah, still no layers so far.
Yeah, staying on 4. Okay, I was about to say he's staying on 4 hatches, but then he throws down that 5th hatchery just now. Making just a few more lings because Dreamer was pushing out with a few Zealots, not wanting to get caught off guard by those. And if Dreamer were to push out now, he should be able to get those lings to surround those Zealots. Meanwhile, the Corsair is flying across the map. He does see those lings coming across, but nothing too scary for him. And he is going to scout that there is no lair here yet, or should scout that there is no lair here yet.
Yes, and yeah, the first Hydras are popping right in time to chase away the Corsair, so the Corsair will not get a lot of kills here. And yeah, so far he's just getting more drones. You can see it in the production tab. 6 more drones on the way. So indeed the Hydralisks were just here for some defense against the Corsairs, and now he's playing a very drone heavy game.
Yeah, I did notice like the Corsair never went into the main if there was a or anything or not. So Dreamer actually doesn't know if there is any kind of lair tech coming at him or not. So we'll see if that plays a factor. We do have the Evo chamber finishing up and a creep colony. So Liquid Drone getting ready to defend a speed zealot timing attack, which we can see for Dreamer the leg speed is about half done, or a little bit over half done, although he's only just now starting +1. So
he doesn't have a lot of zealots, so he only has 6 zealots, and the 3 gateways in the main just completed, and he's making high tempers there. So if he wants to go for like a speed zealot attack, it will not be a very strong one. So probably just a bit to feel out what your opponent is doing, see the unit count, see the economy maybe, but I don't think he can do any serious damage with that.
And now this Corsair did fly through the main and confirms that there is still no lair guarded. So he should know exactly what he's up against. He should know that there's going to be a lot of Hydras coming out. And we can kind of see he's getting ready for that with getting his Templars out, getting his leg speed up, getting his Storm ready. So he should be able to defend any kind of Hydra pressure coming his way.
Yeah. But we still see some drones on the production tab, a lot of drones on the production tab. So yeah, I think Liquid Drone's plan here is to just defend for now and get his economy even bigger and maybe take a fourth base very soon.
Yep. Well, we can see the lair has started and is actually over half done here now for Liquid Drone. Probably see lurkers being upgraded shortly after that finishes here. And fourth base attempt. There is a DT sitting there on the ramp of where Liquid Drone is most likely to take his fourth. And it looks like he is going to get that drone. Yes. Just slowing that down a little bit, and also potentially alerting Dreamer that, hey, Liquid Drone's looking to take this as his fourth base now. But he is going to go ahead and kill that DT and probably send another drone out there to take that base.
Okay, so if we take a look at the big picture here, the worker count is pretty similar, which is good for Zerg. Let's take a look at the upgrades here. We have 0-0 for Eriador, but the +1 is almost finishing. And meanwhile on the Protoss side we still have 0-0 with the +1 also almost finishing. So it will be like a 1-0 against 1-0 game.
No. Alright. Well, Corsair is still flying around just trying to see what he can see. Maybe pick off some stray Overlords as there's still no speed. We know Overlord speed is quite delayed because of the late lair. Looks like we are going to go ahead and get Lurker upgrade. So yeah, it's kind of as you were saying. It looks like Liquid Drone just wants to play a very economy-style game. Get his fourth base up and running, get everything well defended, and then just go into kind of a later game mass macro mode and try and overrun Dreamer that way.
Yeah, so and one of the goals of a Protoss is always denying that fourth base, and he really needs to go out very soon if he wants to do that, because the lurker upgrade is finishing, and if the lurkers are done and burrowing on this high ground at the fourth base, there is no denying that fourth base anymore. So in that case, the only thing Dreamer can really do is going for its own bases that he's doing right now and going for a long game here.
Yeah, interesting to see him take this base. It is going to be less on resources, so it is going to mine out quicker. We'll have to see him maybe take another base shortly after this one, just so he can keep up with his economy. Meanwhile, we do have Zerg just wandering around the map looking to see if there's any potential bases being taken at some of these other locations, or if he can pick off any units, maybe hoping to take those bases. But we do have that fourth base finish now for Eriador. He's got his first Sunken coming up, finishing there. Lurker upgrades are done. I don't see any. Okay, there's one Lurker maybe out on the map. We'll probably see more morphed here shortly, so he can really secure that base. And once he gets that base pulled out, I thought we do have an engagement coming on here. A couple of high Templar picks. Nice storms going down though, killing a bunch of Hydras. Yeah, I think that went pretty well there for Dreamer so far. He killed most of Liquid Drone's army out on the map and only lost a couple of Templars or a couple of units there.
Yeah, Eriador still has a lot of units here in the back. One lurker is also there. How many storms are still left? I think we still have a sizable amount of storms, like 6 storms left. Only one observer, one got killed off here, and he needs to make sure this observer is not dying. Otherwise this one lurker could defend it.
Yeah, alright, a couple of storms going down here. He's kind of like half and half on some of those storms, but he is killing a lot of Hydras. I don't think he's got nearly enough here to break it though. There's a good number of Hydralists still left and more coming out, so it looks like Liquid Drone will defend this for now and puts himself in a decent position in doing so, killing most of Dreamer's army.
Yeah, and I mean, Dreamer went back a bit here and then just stayed here and lost 3 more High Templars. If he actually retreated those High Templars, I think he could have like refill that remaining army with his reinforcements and then have another good army. But now he's kinda low on units and only has 2 storms here. Okay, 1 more storm now. And with that, I don't think he can really do some damage. Eriador is really doing a good job at being active with the Hydras here, forcing out storms, sometimes sniping High Templars, and there's no real danger that the Protoss can actually kill him anytime soon, because he always has some more units on his bases to defend.
Yeah, well, meanwhile, he is taking the 5th base. And we can really see like the macro of Eriador here, like really strong macro play coming out of him. He just had so many units. He got his bases up and secured them pretty well. And I mean, we saw that in how he was able to easily defeat Dreamer's army there. But now Dreamer has another sizable army pushing out on the map, and he's maybe able to catch a group of Hydras here that are kind of out in the open. Okay, it looks like he will get into his 5th base location, and maybe he can defend here. One Zergling just kind of denying the space or hitting a pylon here. Dreamer's just going to go ahead and clean that up. All right. Oh, but now his army is split. Half of Dreamer's army is left behind here, and he's going to pick off these Templars for free.
That's a big deal here. So only 3 High Templars here. Oh, but oh my god, those storms.
Amazing. Wow. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no more Observer. Oh man, no more Observer. If he had an Observer here, those 5 Lurkers would be dead so easily because they were completely surrounded by Protoss units. But now I think overall it was a pretty fine trade for Eriador.
Yeah, those 2 storms were nasty, but because of the no observers, those lurkers were able to help out quite a bit. But no, it's still looking pretty good here. I mean, both players are in a good position. It's a solid. We're getting a really solid macro game out of these 2, it seems. We got that 4th base now being started for Dreamer. If he can get this base secured, that'll be very good for him. As we know, that 3rd base he took is pretty low on resources. You can already see it's got about the same amount left as his natural. Maybe a little bit more. So he's definitely going to need that base sooner than later. But he has got a sizable army, and he's pushing towards that 5th base. A lot of lurkers there, and it's kind of a small area to attack into. So I don't know if he's going to be able to break through this. But it looks like he wants to try for it anyways.
Yeah, running into so many lurkers, I'm not sure about this. And meanwhile, he's just losing more units to the Hydra counterattack here. And yeah, he has to go back. He also has not a single storm with this army. I have a little feeling we see a repeat of the last games here. Protoss fighting without storm and getting crushed by mass Hydras here.
Yeah. Well, we got Hydras on both sides. Like, the flank is really nice coming out of... Gonna lose most of his Dragoons, if not all of them here. And that's really good for Eriador. Like, he can replace his army a lot easier than Dreamer can. And we can see that in the supplies now. Like, they literally have the exact same worker count. But Liquid Drone is ahead about 30 supply here. So I like the position. I feel like it was a mistake trying to attack in there. He lost way too much. He got an observer picked off, and he lost all his High Templars again. So he just had no storm to really deal with the mass Hydra.
Yeah, so again, another Protoss losing his whole army. And yeah, now it's really Eriador's game to lose. He has... he's taking a 6th base at this point. And if this gets up, he even has a 7th base in the back of that. And this is also a hard position to attack. If there are lurkers set up, maybe with 1 or 2 Sunkens and the Spore, there's really no breaking that. So really, I think if Eriador gets that base, the game should be pretty much over. But now we have an attack here on the 5th base attempt of Dreamer. And I see 1 observer here. Oh, Templars dying again.
Yeah, those storms weren't the greatest. Well, one of them was alright, the other one didn't.
Yeah.
And will he be able to defend this? I'm not sure. Like, he's got a few more units coming in, a couple more storms. We'll see how the storms land. Okay, not bad. But is he going to be able to deny this Nexus? Oh. That's the question. Okay, nice storm there. It looks like he's barely going to be able to hold this position for now. But that was still okay for Liquid Drone. Like, he killed Eriador killed most of Dreamer's army again. And every time you reset the Protoss army as Zerg, you're feeling good. You're able to get further ahead. Like before we saw he was 30 supply, now he's still 30 supply, but he was a 40 supply there for a bit. He's got another base up behind this as well. His hive is just now finishing up. So yeah, I mean, it feels like Eriador is just getting further and further ahead here. Now that said, Protoss being on 4 or 5 bases can last quite a while. Like Protoss does trade quite efficiently, so they can definitely get a lot done. We'll have to see. Like, I would like to see something though. He's got to do something to slow Zerg down. You know, some kind of harass, kill a bunch of drones, kill a base somewhere. I don't know where he's going to be able to kill a base though. Like, he's pretty well defended and got good positions that even if Protoss pushes out somewhere, he's going to be able to react and stop Protoss from killing those bases. So.
Yeah, exactly. Losing the army like 3 times or so at this point, it's probably not going to work. Even if you're on 5 bases against like a 7, maybe soon even 8 base Zerg, it will still not be enough. I think, as you mentioned, he has to do something like maybe Dark Templar drops, maybe he does a little Corsair switch and kills all the Overlords and gets some damage done with CTs, or just like Storm drops on the bases as well. Just something to really even out the economy a bit, because I don't think you can stay alive long against the like 7 base Zerg, who also is on Hive Tech now with the Defiler mount completed and the Adrenal Glands upgrade for Zerglings. That gets even harder. Zerg can usually fight the Protoss with even less supply than usual when he's on Hive Tech, but he's actually ahead in supply even, so this is really a bad position for Dreamer.
Yeah, we can see he's getting close to maxing out. He's got the Defiler about half done. And realistically, excuse me, how many more bases can Protoss take? Like, he's going to take that one high ground now, but that seems like the last realistic base he could maybe take.
Yeah.
Like maybe that other low ground, mineral only, will probably be taken by Zerg there. So he's not even going to be able to stay on an even number of bases as Zerg. So even in a split situation here where all the bases get taken, Zerg's going to have way more bases. So even the efficiency of Protoss won't be good enough. But here comes a battle. A couple of decent storms coming down here, killing a lot of Hydras. So that's not bad. I feel like this was kind of a move that Dreamer needed here. He killed a lot of army and didn't really lose much. We can see he actually pulled slightly ahead in supply. I still would say this is, better for Zerg. Better position overall for Zerg, but that was, a couple more moves like that, and all of a sudden Dreamer's got a much better chance of fighting back in this game.
Yeah, that can be true, but he really needs a few more of those situations. We have the first Defilers out now. They have consumed completed, so they are here at max energy, this Defiler is. So we will see Dark Swarm in the game very soon. And I think Eriador is preparing for an attack. He's gathering the units, he's ready to flank maybe from the top here. And the Dark Swarm is casted. And I think he will just overwhelm the army.
Yeah, this army is very Dragoon heavy as well. Like, there's only a couple of Zealots, a couple of Templars, the rest is Dragoons here. And so he's just going to push most of that army back. There is some more army joining up in here with it, so he will be able to clean up some more of these Hydras. But another swarm comes down protecting them, so see, nice storms going down. But it looks like, even if he kills the rest of these Hydras, it's still good for Liquid Drone. Anytime you can kind of push the Protoss back here, keep them from getting out onto the map, just buy yourself some more time, it's good for you. But like the macro of Liquid Drone is just insane at this point, right? He's on so many bases, so many hatcheries. Like, he can afford to trade armies over and over, much more than Dreamer can. That said, Dreamer is getting this base here at the top. If he can secure that, maybe he can start pushing back a little bit better.
Yeah, but I think we'll see a Dark Swarm on the cannons very soon. There is one High Templar with almost 2 storms, but I don't think will be enough.
I'll have to see probe transfer right through the Hydras, but a lot of them do, because there is the army here. Nice storms coming down from Dreamer, killing a lot of Hydras and Lings here. I don't know if this is going to be enough. Like, these Lings are doing so much damage here in the base, killing all those cannons. Don't think, even if those Dragoons get up there, there's Dark Swarm, so I think this Nexus may end up going down. He kills all the probes there at least. Will he be able to get the Nexus too?
Yeah, there's really no hope because Dreamer had just only goons left and there was a Dark Swarm, so there's no no defending that base. Now he has
Oh, I
some
didn't even
zealots,
see
but
that.
it's too late.
Yeah.
Now
There
the
was even a
Nexus is
lurker on
down.
the ramp. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lurker
exactly.
egg on the ramp. I didn't even see that before because of the swarm. And yeah, losing this Nexus is not good. We can see Liquid Drone's 20 supply ahead. He's got the other main base. I mean, he's saturated in all of these bases. Drone's mining at all of them. So the income for Eriador here is just insane. What can Dreamer do? Like, he mined out his third base. All he's got, he's only mining here on 2 bases, a mineral only and 1 gas base. And yeah, really, I think it's pretty much the end for him. He's still got an army, so he can still try and fight back, maybe get some damage done somewhere, but I don't think he's gonna find damage anywhere. Liquid Drone's macro is just insane at this point.
Yes, and now this could be the last fight of the game. Okay, nice storms, he might even win this fight, but then again he has no army left after this. And he can also not reproduce as much anymore because he's only on 1 gas base and on 1 mineral base now. And yeah.
Another plague going down. Yeah.
And now the Adrenalings will just clear everything up. We see the rallies of Eriador. And the funny thing is he's not even using not even half of the army, I think. He has units sitting around everywhere here. Lurkers defending bases. The natural always has some units. Here we can see like 6 lurker eggs. So there's so many more units. And he's almost winning the fight in the middle of the map anyways.
Yeah, and he's even taking another base behind this, but he doesn't. He can just literally non-stop produce units and just keep throwing them at Protoss and eventually overwhelm him. I think at this point he's basically broken Protoss, and I'm sure Dreamer knows he's pretty much done for. He is trying to take that base at the top. If he can secure it, he can survive a bit longer. But even still, with that base, I don't think it's going to be enough. Zerg has just gotten to that point where they're just way too big and just non-stop making units for the rest of the game if they want to. So
yeah. And now we see some additional rallies here, groups of units running across the map, just mass speedlings. And with that, with those groups here getting up on the high ground against this base attempt, yeah, there are only really 2 bases left. And he can just not get this base up. And you can see he has no army. The supply also mirrors the situation here. It's double supply for the Zerg. It should be the other way around if you have an even game. And there's nothing left but to GG for Dreamer here.
and a very solid macro game coming out of Eriador. Dreamer did hold his own there for a while, but it just looked like Eriador just kept getting little advantages a little bit further ahead. Every time he killed the army, every time he got another base secured, he just pulled that much further ahead and eventually turned that into a win for himself.
Yes, so that means Dreamer is, well, I want to say Eriador. Eriador is only 1 game away from advancing here out of the round of 16 into the round of 8. Dreamer has to win 2 games to do the same, but even if he loses now, he's still in the deciding game. But we'll find out in the second game here between Eriador and Dreamer. And I guess we have an invalid password again.
Yep.
Okay, this time I did switch the name, so it just doesn't work. Let's see, try again.
And there it works.
Okay, so I always have to host 1 time, not working, and then reopen with another name. Okay.
Yeah, you just have to host it twice, and then I can get in or something. Thanks, Blizzard. All right. Well, looks like the map will be polypoid, and we have to take Shift Tab off because they're both yellow.
That's interesting that they change the game mode in the middle of the series. So I guess
I'm guessing they changed hosts. Yeah, I think maybe Liquid Drone hosted the first. I think so.
Okay, so we are ready here. The map, as mentioned, is polypoid, and in the bottom right corner, we have our race-picking Zerg. 1 game away from advancing to the round of 8. It is Eriador.
All right, and in the top left, we have our green Protoss from Russia, Dreamer. And now, if he loses this game, he's still not eliminated. He will go into the final match. We won't know his opponent until next series, but we'll see. Looks like he is going to go ahead and go for a Forge opening this time. I mean, so far from what we've seen of Dreamer, it seems like every game that he's opened with the Gateway opening, he's lost, and every game he's opened with the Forge opening, he's won. So maybe he's just better at Forge openings or something. We'll see. So maybe this is a good sign for him. If he's going to go opening Forge here, maybe he can pull a win against Eriador. Force to game 3.
Yeah, could be the case here. Eriador actually going for the hatch on 12 again.
I think it was 11.
Yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah, it was 11. So I'm not an expert in Zerg builds, but
yeah. Me either, but I do believe 11 hatch is supposed to be good against Gateway firsts or Gateway expand open builds. So yeah, going Forge not gonna be a factor here. But Dreamer is gonna go ahead and see that this is a hatch first, and so should be comfortable going ahead, throwing down his Nexus and can even some additional buildings before that cannon if he wants.
Yeah, that's always nice. So I remember, I think in an earlier game, I think it was Dreamer, we saw him making cannons before the Nexus. But in this game, he actually just waited until he scouted the Zerg and then made the Nexus instead of cannons. So that's a little difference here, but that's definitely nice for him to get the Nexus out very early. And as you mentioned, he's also getting another building before the first cannon, which is the gateway here, and even the gas. So especially because this is a cross-position game, he knows that Zerglings need a very long time to reach his base, so he can really squeeze out every little bit of his build before he needs to get the cannon.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was just going to say that too. Like, I really think he could go ahead and get that gas, even that pylon probably before that cannon being cross-mapped, because we just see those Zerglings popping just now. You could have started the cannon about now and still been okay, or even just before they popped. So, yeah, Zerglings aren't even going to go across the map. Just going to chase that probe, try and get that kill, and deny scouting, which is very important early game for players to kind of know what they're up against. Let's see. What is the plan for Eriador? He still hasn't taken his gas here, so it looks like he wants to maybe go for something similar to last game and just go up to 4 or 5 hatches, excuse me, and then take into Hydras, playing a later layer style. I think that's probably what we're going to see here, seeing that no gas yet. Meanwhile, on Dreamer's side, the core has started. We're going to have to see if he wants to go for that Stargate or not this game.
Yeah, this time he has a lot more gas. So I remember last time the core completed when he had like 80 gas. This time he's already at 150 gas before the core is completed. So he definitely started out way earlier because, I mean, he got the gas before the cannon. So you can really see the difference. So he can really start his Stargate and the +1. He already did start +1 even and still had over 200 gas. So that's a crazy gas count.
Yeah, well, he was able to get his gas a little bit earlier, having scouted the build coming out of Eriador here. But interesting to see that he did get that probe or leave the main base with that probe. So he does, again, not necessarily know when that gas is being taken. I'm sure he scouted that the gas was later than normal gas timing and kind of assumes it's something like a 4 or 5 hatch before gas type play, which we can see, you know, he is getting up to that 5 hatches. He is getting his gas going now. So once we have 50 gas, we'll probably see that Hydrogen come down. You know, I'll probably just scouting around, seeing what he can see, and maybe he's going to get picked off here. Okay, he does manage to avoid those links for now.
Yep.
Meanwhile, no second gas coming out of Dreamer, so I think he correctly identified the gas was late, and he's just going to go for a faster speed zealot timing attack here.
Yeah, also, since he did take the first gas so early, he doesn't really need to take the second gas that early because he has the extra gas. Yeah, but he's still getting his core there, so he's getting his speed. So he is doing all of those gas things without needing to take the second gas. So that's nice. So you can definitely get out some additional zealots because of that.
Yeah, and this might even trick Eriador a little bit because he does see that there is a Corsair out now. So he might just think that this is a normal like Stargate opening. He didn't have a Overlord really scouting in the main. He doesn't know that there's no second gas or anything. So he might think, okay, this is standard, Stargate into a bunch of Corsairs or +1 stairs or something. Not expecting a faster Zealot attack coming out here. Like we can see +1 is almost done now for Dreamer, and his speed is getting pretty close to done now too. Looks like he is going to be prepared. Actually, look, he forced a Spore Colony at the third base there. But I still think Liquid Drone should be prepared to defend these earlier Zealots.
Yeah, this City in the third base is very good. This Sunken is really protected by all the surrounding buildings. But there's nothing in the natural actually. And also he did go very heavy on drones. He was able to do that because he took no gas and was able to expand early and so on. But he really needs to start getting his units in place because the Zealots are running across the map. And yeah, Dreamer is attacking the base that has a good SimCity. So maybe Eriador is just fine.
Yeah, there's no real units here, but he can drone drill. Still, he could lose a lot of drones here without... he's bringing some Hydras in now.
I think he should just send them away, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he's going to get all of his Zealots trapped here now. Like, it feels like Dreamer felt like, okay, there's nothing here, I can commit in here and get a lot of damage done. But now it feels like it's the other way around. Like, that went really well for Eriador now. Like,
yeah.
He traded out Zealots for, what, like 2 drones or something? He didn't even get the Sunken. So, yeah, I really like Eriador's position now. Like, it feels like he just pulled quite a ways ahead. Killing all those Zealots for almost nothing.
If you see such a nice SimCity here with the Sunken completely protected, usually it's a bad idea to attack as a Protoss player. But he did anyways. He did kill some drones. But again, we have the same situation that we saw earlier with DMAX, I think, where he really spends a lot of army, he spends a lot of Zealots to kill economy, but since now Protoss has no more army and Eriador still has all the Hydras that he built, Eriador can just make pure drones. Completely pure drones, and you can see the worker count. Eriador is way ahead on workers despite just losing some. So I'm not feeling too good about this for Dreamer.
Yeah, and you can even see this forced out a lot more cannons from Dreamer too. He only had 1. He put down 3 more cannons, knowing like a Hydra counterattack is a very real possibility now because he lost all those Zealots and didn't trade out any Hydras. And he didn't have Storm ready at the time, so he really needed those cannons up to defend a possible Hydra counterattack. But as we can see, he didn't make a lot of Hydras. He just has like a control group worth, not even on the map, and a few at home. So he just spent this time to really drone up, and we can see this in the supplies now. Like, he's 10 drones ahead, and he's ahead in supplies. So, like you said, like this is looking really good for Eriador now. You can just see how fragile it can be early on. You throw away all those Zealots, and all of a sudden, Zerg is just way ahead.
Yeah, it's really important as a Protoss that you're not losing your army, even if it's just 8 Zealots in the beginning of the map, of the game, or in like the mid game. It's really always or almost always better for the Protoss to keep his units and to build that bigger army. A bigger army is always trading more efficiently compared to multiple smaller armies. So yeah, but by losing these initial Zealots, his army is not that big, and Eriador can just macro up, and now we see a little push out by Dreamer, so maybe he can use this high ground to his advantage and secure the third base. But if not, then with the fourth base going up for Eriador, this game is not looking too good for him.
Yeah, I don't even know if he wants to take this third base. It looks like he's gone up to 8 gateways here on 2 base. So it looks like Dreamer's just going to try and macro up another big army and go. Like, he's not going to be able to afford to pump out of these 8 gates and get this additional base. He's even cut probe production for this. And his probe count is already a little bit lower than it should be for this. Normally you'd be on, say, like 45-ish probes if you want to do this. Way before you cut probes if you wanted to do this. So yeah, I don't know what his plan is here. I think, well, I kind of do know what his plan is here. Is just mass up a bunch of units, go across the map, and try and kill him. But I don't know if it's going to work. Is what I should say.
Yeah, but I think this could have a bigger chance of working compared to these initial Zealot attacks. He does have a lot of storms here. He has 4 Templars, almost 2 storms on each Templar, so that's 8 storms. If he can not get them sniped off here, I think he can beat a pure Hydra army with his army, but he needs to be careful. So you can see Eriador is trying to outposition him, maybe get 1 or 2 High Templar snipes before the real big fight happens. And really, Dreamer has to make sure that he's getting all of those storms off. Otherwise, I don't see him getting back into this game, because the 5th base is now going up for Eriador against the 2 bases of Dreamer.
Yeah, you can really see, like, Eriador really looks like a strong macro type Zerg player here. You can really see how his macro is just powering through these games. Kind of trying to storm, just keep those Hydras away from his army as he tries to push across the map. Looks like Dreamer is now going to try and secure that base here at 12 minutes. But there's a group of Lings coming around, and there's no real army to defend this, so those Lings will probably pick off that probe and just slow down the 3rd base attempt from Dreamer even more.
Oh, we have some nice storms here by Dreamer. Very nice storms.
Very nice, yeah. Wow.
But then again, is it enough? Lurkers burrowed on the high ground, Sunken is in place, reinforcements are coming. I'm not sure if he can actually push up to this high ground if the Lurkers are in place.
Maybe a bit of a flank with the Lings coming in from behind. Okay, Lings are just going to kill like 1 or 2 units here and get picked off.
Yeah, this is a bit wasteful of Eriador, but he still has a lot of units coming, and I'm not sure what Dreamer is doing now. He's actually turning around. I don't think he can come back in this game in a macro game. I think he really has to kill a base right now. Trying to secure the 3rd base against the 5 bases already up for Eriador. I don't think that's the way. He really has to do some damage here, and he's trying. He's actually coming into this position here, but it looks like we will see Eriador just flanking this army from every side.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the storms land, how the flank is, but I mean, if Dreamer loses this army, that's pretty much GG. He is trying to take a 3rd base behind this, but we'll see. Okay, first storm was decent, 2nd storm didn't really hit anything. Okay, couple of decent storms here going down, but now we have the units flooding in from all the different directions, and it looks like he's just going to be able to clean up this Protoss army. Yeah. And from here, what can Dreamer do, right? Like, I think that's pretty much GG for him, right? Like, maybe he can stay in this game a little bit longer, especially if he gets that 3rd base up and running, but okay, he does save a few Dragoons for now, but like I said, it just looks so bad for him, right? Zerg's on 5 bases. His economy is just out of control already. He's 30 supply up here on our Protoss player.
Yes, and he is now losing more and more units. Okay, nice storm, but in the end, these little trades are not bringing him back. He needs really big, like awesome trades with big armies, and he's just not getting those. And I mean, he's barely winning this fight. But you can see in the supply, like Eriador is almost doubling the supply. Yeah, okay, not quite, but he will get there eventually. But yeah, at least he got the 3rd up.
Yeah. Well, even winning that fight in the middle is better for Liquid Drone at the point, or Eriador, than Drew. Like, he's perfectly fine trading out armies because he's on such a great economy, and he's even taking a 6th base behind this, so Liquid Drone doesn't even care that he lost the fight. The fact that he's just killing units of Dreamer is good for him. Like, any trade he can take, even if it's not the most efficient, is better for him. So yeah, he's gonna set up that 6th base, and like, again, he doesn't even really necessarily have to go for the kill, even though he probably could just kill Dreamer right now if he attacked into the natural or something. He just has to outlast him, prevent him from taking more bases, and let his huge economic lead just carry him to victory.
Yeah, and that's definitely the style that Eriador prefers here. He's just out macro. He's just out macroing his opponent. He's not going for some risky kill moves. He's just taking more and more bases, getting more and more drones, getting his tech up. We can see the hive going up, and he's just growing, and the Protoss can just not keep up usually.
Yeah. I mean, what can you do? We can see like the supply difference is insane. Like normally you would look at this supply and be like, oh, okay, Protoss is 160, Zerg's 108. That's fine. That's like, where we want to be. That's not too bad. But the fact that it's the other way around, Zerg with 160, what can Dreamer do? There's even with like the best harassment, like a bunch of storm drops or DT drops, even that I don't think gets him back into this game. He's down 50 supply. Zerg is just taking a couple more bases here. Like, there's nothing for Dreamer really.
Yeah, looks like that's the case. In the first game, we also saw Dreamer not really going for any harassment, so no shuttles, no Corsair switches, no DTs trying to sneak in. So it feels like Dreamer is just trying to get an army and pushing with that, but that will not be enough in this game anymore. So he really needs to like change his style midway through this game, otherwise there's really no hope. But I don't think he will do that. So yeah, with Eriador actually taking 3 more hatcheries at his 7th base.
Oh wow.
That is pretty unfortunate for Dreamer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can look at this. He's maxed now, right? Like he can do whatever he wants. He just send a bunch of units. He could just take every base on the map if he wanted to. Like he could go AFK almost. I don't want to say that. Like, no offense to Dreamer or anything. Like, I know Dreamer's a very solid player, but this just looks so bad for him right now, right? Like, he is getting a 4th base up, which is nice for him. He's gonna have that mining. No gas there, unfortunately, for him. But yeah, like Zerg has good map vision. Like, you can kind of see almost like an arc or something kind of in the middle here. So there's no way Protoss can even get to Zerg's side of the map without Zerg really knowing about it. And he's just scouting the additional bases, so he can't even sneak a base anywhere or anything. And now that he's maxed, we can see like he wants to maybe move in here and try and do the finishing blow here to Dreamer.
Yeah. Dreamer is definitely doing he's doing it the Terran way. Just trying to max out on his bases that he has and hope for one last punch with the one big army and maybe try to win the game with that. He's getting a Dark Archon, so he maybe feels like he needs something extra, so he's getting a very like effective high resource army, so a lot of Archons, some like High Templars, some Dark Templars even. So this army is very strong. It's like not every max out army is the same. If you have a max out army of purely Dragoons and Zealots with maybe 3 High Templars, that's not as strong as this army with a lot of Archons, Dark Archons, High Templars and everything. So this is definitely what he's going for, I think. One big punch with the maxed out army.
That's a good thing to point out. I assume he got, excuse me, Maelstrom or something for this Dark Archon. We can already see he's even getting the energy upgrade for his Dark Archon.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so interesting to see.
Is that for the Dark Archon? I think that's a High Templar one.
Is it? I thought he already had the High Templar energy. Oh no, he doesn't. That was last game. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I assumed I thought he already had it. That was last game. My bad. Okay. So it is the High Templar energy then. Okay. But yeah, it looks like. Oh, he left his Dark Archon and part of his RB behind here as well.
Yeah.
Like Zerg was actually trying to take the bottom left base and just secure 3/4 of the map for himself. But yeah, at least Protoss was able to deny that for now. It's still not going to be enough. Zerg has been maxed this whole time. I don't know. Yeah. Sorry, just watching this fight. It looks like Dreamer. I mean, he did clean that up, but like his our Liquid Drone Eriador's army just stays constantly basically maxed. Like he cleaned up all that army, but he's still at 200 here. Right? So
that is true.
What do you do? What do you do?
Yeah, he's just gathering another army here, Eriador is, and now he's flanking the Protoss from every side really every single direction. This army is completely getting swarmed, and that is lights out for Dreamer. Now he's actually using the rest of the army, and the Dark
There's
Archon
even
is
a
coming
queen.
as well. But is
No.
there a Maelstrom? Will we see the Maelstrom this game? That's not a
Well,
Maelstrom, that's a Dark Swarm.
we got a parasite on the Dark Archon now, as well. Oh, Dreamer complaining about the lengths.
Wow.
Yeah, Queen comes out for a parasite, couple Dark Swarms, and GG is called there.
Yeah. Well, what can you say? Eriador just playing a wonderful, very macro heavy damage, and he doesn't really care about losing a few drones to some speed zealots early on if he knows he can just make 10 additional drones and have more than before.
Yeah. Well, very nice game. It does mean that Eriador does advance in first place out of this group. So there's still 3 players left, and only one more spot left in the BSL 8 Gosuleague, or round of 8, sorry, Gosuleague. So who will get it? Will it be? We'll find out who gets eliminated next in this next match.
Yes, that will be between DMax and PTech. And I remade the game a second time. Yeah, and that will be the losers match. So the winner of this match, DMax versus PTech, will be advancing to the decider match against Dreamer for the last spot in the round of 8 here.
So we have another PVZ now. Based excuse me, on the games we saw earlier, I feel like PTech is probably advantage. Like we saw Dean Max with not a lot of high Templars and stuff as well, and we saw like PTech really good at keeping that high Templar count down against Dreamer. Yeah. So just based on like that kind of play style and how the games went earlier, I feel like PTech might be a little bit favored here, but that doesn't mean like DMAX can't win, of course, or anything. So this could definitely go either way still, I'm sure. But we may as well introduce our players here.
Yes, so in the top left corner, we have our pros player. It is DMAX.
All right, and in the excuse me, bottom left, we have PTAC, our brown Zerg. Also, if PTAC won, it would be a rematch between him and Dreamer for the final spot, and that was definitely a very good series. So, kind of hype about that. But if DMAX does win, we will get a different matchup today and actually have a PvP instead of nothing but PvZs. So, hey, either player winning would be good with me. I don't know.
Yeah, so guys, to all the viewers out there, put a 1 in the chat if you want to see another PvZ, the rematch of PTech versus Dreamer, or put a 2 in the chat if you want a different matchup in a PvP between DMax and Dreamer. So 1 for another PvZ, 2 for the PvP. I'm curious to see your mood here.
Yeah. A little bit of a chat in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, meanwhile we can see PTech going for that hatch first on 12, and DMax going for the 2 gates. This could be interesting very quickly.
Yeah, we did see him do a couple of different builds earlier against Liquid Drone or Eriador. He did well at 1 gate tech in the very first game, which was a pretty nice game. So, well, I guess we'll see how his 2 gate is. Excuse me. It looks like the drone is probably going to scout this unless he turns around here, not sitting nothing at the natural. Okay, he is going to go ahead and go in, and he is going to scout. It is a 2 gate build coming out of Frodos here. So we'll have to see what the reaction is. He should be fine. I mean, I imagine players at this level definitely know how to handle something like this. But we'll have to see. Like, also players at this level are going to have better controls. So maybe if DMax can take a couple of good early trades, he can snowball that into a quick win with his Zealots here.
Yeah, I mean, if DMax is not doing any damage here, this game looks pretty grim for him because he's on 1 base still, and he is playing against a fast second base, so this would be not too good for him. So I think he kind of has to find some damage somehow. Meanwhile, the vote in the chat not really a lot of participants, I have to say, but it looks like we have more sympathy for another PvZ here. So despite not seeing a single PvP, we really have our viewers not really liking the PvP matchup.
I think in general people prefer not. They want to see the anything but mirror matchups for the most part, I think. But we'll have to see how this goes. I mean, PTAC versus Dreamer was a very hype match to begin with, so that could be a good match to finish for the finals. But look at this. We do have a proxy pylon coming out here from Dean Max at 6 o'clock. Gonna have to see what this is for.
Yeah, the only thing I could imagine is like robotics here for a Reaver. I think I actually saw this build on ASL, maybe like, I think Shuttle was doing it. So it was like mass zealots and a Shuttle with a Reaver. But then again, that was on 2 bases with speed zealots, so I'm not sure. But we see the robotics. But he's still on 1 base. I'm not sure how this is going. So this Preaver has to do really a lot of damage if he wants to get back into this game.
Yeah, and PTAC is flying in here with his Overlord, so he kind of sees, like, he sees the core is done, but he sees no additional tech. He knows there's been plenty of gas mining, so he's like, he's got to be questioning himself, like, what's going on? Is that what the OMG for is? There's maybe some lag. But yeah, and he's even going to scout that there's no natural base. So if he's paying attention, and I feel like a player at this level should be questioning, okay, what's up? Why is there no additional tech? Why is there no natural? So he's got to be suspicious of something, I'm sure. He doesn't necessarily know what, but something, right?
Yeah, for sure. The robotics is finishing. We'll probably see the shuttle and the robotic support bay going up immediately. Yes, that's the case. And now is he going for more zealots or is he going for goons? So I personally sometimes do this build if I forget to send my probe to the natural in the beginning of the game. But then I do it with range goons. So maybe he's trying a little bit of a different way here, but he's not making any units of the gateways for the last minute or so. Okay, now he's actually starting another goon.
Yeah, I think most of his money here is going towards that hidden tech. Now the question is, will PTAC figure this out, or will he be able to react and defend in time? There's still, I mean, he still doesn't know what's going on exactly, but he's got to be questioning it, right? And so we'll see, like, is he going to spread out his Hydras? He's already moved an Overlord to the bottom kind of his base here to maybe intercept or see any drops coming in. Producing some Hydras. I'd like to see him maybe spread those out a little bit in his base, because it's got to be some kind of a drop or like a hidden base or something. We can see he's actually scouting around now a little bit for this. He's sent Zerglings towards bottom left. He's sent a bunch of, he's got kind of almost a vision around Protos's base to see if anything comes out from there. Meanwhile, a probe does come out and he actually misses grabbing that, so it's going to get by. Okay, Hydras are moving into the main base now. So
yeah,
he definitely knows something.
Them.
Yeah. Yeah. He's gonna hide them from the probe, but is that gonna backfire against Dean Max here? Because now the Hydras are gonna be closer to defend this Reaver flying in.
Yeah, it could be. He also has a probe loaded in. I'm not sure what that's about. But he actually is also getting shuttle speed, but he's not waiting for it. It's like a few seconds from being done, but he's just losing everything now. 2 drones and 3 Hydras. That's it. That's the whole damage he did with this super risky, like, cheese proxy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he tried to attack at the front too, but these zealots aren't even speed zealots or anything. There's more than enough Hydras to deal with this, so it feels like this is pretty much the end. Like, he invested all that money and resources into it. Like, this army here is just going down, all his zealots and dragoons. He invested all that money into the shuttle and Reaver that did nothing. He's still on 1 base. Like, look at this. He's got him spam out cannons at the top of his ramp here just to live. And
yeah. Oh, wow.
Hope that this second shuttle Reaver does enough damage. Like, kills almost every drone is basically his only chance here.
Yeah. I really don't see why he actually flew into the main. He had like 5 seconds from his shuttle speed. Shuttle speed is such an expensive upgrade. It costs 200. So you're investing everything on one base to get that, and then you fly in the shuttle without it finishing.
Yeah, he went for a probe drill, but all the probes get out of the base as well. Okay, he does get them back on the ramp just to block it, just so he can survive. Let's see how the Reaver does. He does get a few. He actually gets quite a few drones there.
Seven drone kills here.
Yep. But it's still not enough. He needs to kill more if he wants to win this game. And he's actually just gonna lose his main base.
Yeah, he's just dying right now.
Like, he needs that Reaver to be defending his base at this point. And even then, it's not gonna be enough.
Man, if the first Reaver did a little bit better, maybe he has a shot here, but now he's just dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's gotta fly home with that. Okay, he is now, but even still, like, even if he micros this like perfectly and kills every Hydra here, he's lost way too much economy. He's got no probes, even though there's only 8 drones back at home. Yeah, and he knows it too. He's just GG's out.
Okay, that was an unusual game.
Yeah, interesting to see though. Like, I don't know if the strategy was worked out the way he hoped, or what his plan was with that. It just didn't seem quite well thought out. Maybe he's just too slow on the shuttle speed or something. But a bit unfortunate for him. But yeah, PTAC does take game number 1.
Yes. Oh wow, first try. You can join. I can't believe it.
And you didn't change the name, or did you?
I didn't.
Okay. Maybe Blizzard's being nicer now, letting us join. Or maybe because that game was short enough, I was able to rejoin the next time.
Could be.
All our other games were like 20 minutes or so. Yeah.
Okay, so the second game will be on Neo Sylphid. That is Dean Max's choice, and he did go for a very risky proxy build in the last game. Maybe he has something similar planned as well. Sometimes, I have to say, like little truth here, sometimes players, even in the round of 16, are sometimes short on time, even on the play day. They want to get the group finished. They have already waited for the previous games, and sometimes players tend to go for shorter games in the end of the group. So maybe Dean Max is one of those players, and maybe he's going for something aggressive again.
Yeah, well, we'll see. This is do or die time for. He is. So we'll see what he wants to go for. It looks like he's just going to go ahead and get the pylon at its natural. We saw this from him last time, and he's going to mine that mineral, so this is probably for a gateway expand. Meanwhile, what does PTAC want to do? We have seen a lot of 12 hatches coming out of him, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Looks like he's actually going to go for a 9 hatch.
A 9 hatch. Interesting. I'm not sure how that really matches up against Protoss builds.
Okay, it is actually going to be the forge here. So he's just going to wait to build the forge before scouting instead. He does see that Overlord flying across, so he will know exactly what position this is. Now, the question is he going to realize that this hatch is earlier than a 12 hatch?
And then also, does he know how to react against it?
Now, okay, this is, 9 hatch, 9 pool.
You're cut off sometimes, so...
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, now it works.
Okay, so yeah, this is 9 hatch, 9 pool, 9 gas. Oh, okay, he's going to cancel the gas just for the extra drone. Now, he did build a pylon down here, so is he just going to try and cannon rush this?
Well, the fact that this hatchery is earlier than usual means it could finish earlier in the same moment than slightly before the cannons are finishing, so the Zerg cannot cancel it. So this early hatchery could be very bad for PTAC here. That's like a interesting outcome here.
Yeah, and I checked the vision. Those cannons were barely out of vision of the. Well, it was making, as people may or may not know, when it's building, it has much lower vision range. So yeah, I think this is probably just gonna work, right? Like,
Yes.
how is he gonna be able to kill both of these cannons? He's pulling a bunch of drones, but I don't think this is gonna be enough.
Yeah, I don't think so either. There's really no hope.
So looks like we're probably gonna have a game 3. His do or die, maybe. Well, he does kill one of the cannons.
Yeah, but then he also loses almost every drone.
Yeah. And he's just gonna remake that cannon as well.
Oh, meanwhile, probe pull by DeanMax. What is going on?
He really wants to make sure this ends the game here. He's only leaving 5 probes mining back at home. And he's gonna take a Nexus behind that as well, even though he doesn't have much of an economy now.
Oh, and cannon goes down. The other one is finishing, so I think it will die.
Whoa!
And no.
So, did he just hold? Wow. Okay.
Oh my god. I mean, why is DeanMax even pulling the probes? He had 400 minerals in the moment he pulled the probes. He could just literally make a Nexus and be totally fine, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what I just watched. Like, he could have either not pulled them at all, or if he was gonna pull them sooner, like to help protect those cannons or something. Like, I don't know. That was kind of weird.
Really, P-Tech is on 7 drones here. Just make a Nexus and you have basically a free win. There was no way he's not super far ahead in that case. I can just imagine it is really the thing that I mentioned earlier, that he just wants to get the group over with and doesn't have a lot of time or so. I don't know. Wow.
Well, I mean, the chat got their wish. PTAC does win this, so we do have another PVZ, but what a way to go out of the tournament, hey, in those last 2 games.
Yeah, we can see even in the end here in the resources screen, DeanMax had more resources despite pulling 12 probes like half a minute ago. Okay.
Well.
I think we might have a little bit of a problem here with the replays.
Uh-oh.
Let me go if we have a text file in the replays folder explaining the situation. Sadly, we do not.
What?
No, we don't. But we have different players that are not in this group in the replays.
So we don't have the replays for the final match?
Yes. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Meanwhile, we have a raid of bonus with 150 more viewers. Welcome to the stream. We are in the decider match here of Group D in the round of 16 without the replays. Yeah, okay, let me try to find it. Maybe.
Oh, Dreamer is in chat. Dreamer is in chat. He could send us the replays for.
I can send the replays. Okay,
match.
Dreamer, yeah, that would be very nice. Maybe they're just in another folder as well. Let me quickly check. I can link my Discord in the chat, so you can add me there, Dreamer, if possible, if you don't have me already. And meanwhile, I'm looking into another folder that maybe has the replays. Let's see. Yeah, it's actually the same replays that were the final game in Group C. So that is definitely a copy-paste error here. Unfortunate.
All right. Well, hopefully, yeah. I guess Dreamer can get you those replays, so we will be able to cast the final match or the rematch between Dreamer and PTAC.
Yes. Yeah, we only have the replays of Gosuleague versus Dark of Group C. Okay.
Just needs to find them. Well, we can always check out or recap what we've seen so far. It's nothing but PVZs today, so PVZ marathon for sure. Area Drawer did advance in first place. Oh yeah, bring that up. And then we did have DeanMax go out in last place. So PTAC or Dreamer will be the last one in Group D. And I believe next round is kind of already more or less set too. Depending on what place you finished in your group and what group you're in, will depend who your opponent is for next round.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so we have one Terran in the round of 8, and the winner of this group, which is Eriador, will play a Terran. And this winner of PTech versus Dreamer, the last one who advances to the round of 8, second place in this group, will play against Brownie. Okay. So Dreamer needs a few moments to find the replays here. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. Sorry about that, guys. But we have to wait for a bit. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure I could also message some other player of the Gosuleague to just check out the challenge bracket and download the replays for us. Because if we do it ourselves, we know the results. Of course, we cannot download the replays from the challenge bracket. Okay,
Yeah.
I think I have a friend request here by someone. Not sure if it's Dreamer or not, but it was not Dreamer. But Dreamer is sending me the replays now. Okay.
Right, great.
Yeah. So let me change
The
the
raid
screen
came right on
again.
time.
Yeah,
right in time for us to have the replays.
Thanks a lot, Dreamer, for the replays.
Awesome. So we do have the replays getting downloaded now, and we will be able to cast this final series.
Yes, I'm
Hopefully
doing
as
as
epic
fast
as the
I
other one.
can. Okay. Okay, let's see. I have downloaded the replays, and I think now we can... Yeah, we can start, I think. I'm not quite sure about the order, because sadly the time that this gets displayed in StarCraft is the time of the file,
maybe
not the replay.
Dreamer can PM you the order.
I think I will just assume the order is the same that Dreamer you sent me the replays in, right? So we will go for the Polypoid game first here. Okay.
Do we know what the first map was supposed to be?
I could look that up, but then I'm probably getting spoiled. So anyways, we have hopefully the first game on Polypoid here. And yeah, we're just starting. We are just starting. Maybe Dreamer can confirm that Polypoid is indeed the first game, and maybe you also can confirm what the second map is. But meanwhile, we are just starting this already. But I need a little moment to configure the overlay. 1 second. Okay. And now we are ready for the final and deciding match here of this Group D in the round of 16. Let's go. Okay, in the top left, we have our Zerg coming from the losers bracket. It is PTech.
Yes, this is the elimination. What? Oh, he's asking what team. I'm kind of curious too. In the top left, we have our green Protoss Dreamer.
Yes.
TT. He's still not telling us what this means. Or maybe TT's... What? I don't know. I still don't follow. But anyway, yeah, so these two already played first round. It was a best of 3 that went 2-1 in Dreamer's favor.
Yeah.
So definitely a hype match. I mean, these guys can take games off of each other. So looking forward to this. I'm hoping we get 3 games out of this as well. But we will see.
Yeah, and for any new viewer who came in from bonus stream, the first place here was Eriador. He got out as the winner of the group, and Deanmax got eliminated in last place of the group. So this is the elimination match.
Yeah. For the last spot in the round of 8 of BSL Season 10 Gosuleague.
Yes.
So looks like a 11 hatch coming out of PTAC. We did see him do a lot of hatch first plays. I think he went hatch first in maybe every match except for 1. So definitely he likes this. He's going to go ahead and scout Dreamer here with that drone and see that he is up against a gateway opening, and 11 hatch does quite nicely against the gateway openings. So he'll be happy to see. Oh, or maybe he won't see that. Did that drone just turn instead before seeing that? I guess
I'm
it
not
did.
sure. Yeah, that's pretty weird because the gateway is not far back or anything like this. So this is like the normal place of a gateway, but looks like the drone just turned around. Oh, we'll see a hidden expansion here.
I think what he did was saw the probe with his overlord and just assumed he was in the top right,
Probably,
and
yeah.
then sent the drone that way. So, a bit unfortunate for him. So he is not going to scout that this was gateway first yet. Well, we do have that first zealot coming across the map. It's going to hit this hatchery just as it's finishing up here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we do have. It looks like he is going to go ahead and make a bunch of zerglings, so he should be fine against this.
Yeah.
And now he does confirm it. So.
It gets really dangerous if you're actually making drones and only get 2 zerglings if you don't scout the gateway first. But in this case, he saved up 3 lava, he got the 6 zerglings, and he is pretty much fine.
Yeah, well, we'll see what he can get done with this first zealot. So far, 2 zergling kills, and that's it. Doesn't get a third one, almost does. Second zealot is trickling in now. Third zealot is also on the way across the map. Oh, nice, picking off that low HP zergling right away.
Yep. Getting behind this mineral is always very important for brawlers because this way only 2 zerglings can attack and you get some better traits out of your zealots.
Yeah, so far he's traded 2 zealots for 4 zerglings, so a little bit better maybe trading here 4 zerglings far. But not game ending by any means. Oh, look at this. We actually have a second gateway coming from Dreamer in behind this first one at his natural.
Yeah, that's a very interesting build to do. I've seen Oya liking this build, and this can really throw the Zerg off guard if he doesn't scout it. So the Zerg, if he doesn't see this, which he probably doesn't because it's too far back, he will just assume like it's a normal fast expansion build, and will just send the Overlord into the main base and scout for the like core and everything, and then there are a lot of zealots coming and the Zerg gets surprised. But also, since he took the gas, he could assume it in this case, so I'm not sure. It looks like he's scouting for this.
Interestingly enough, I think PTAC's paused like just about every game today, but also it looked like PTAC did actually scout that second gateway with his zerglings. He got close enough, but he also sees it now with his overlord. So he does know there's 2 gateways here. I guess that's probably in part a reaction to the gas steal, which we have seen PTAC do a number of times today.
Yeah,
especially against streamers. So he will know what he's up against, and hopefully he will be prepared for that. Meanwhile, what's the plan here? He is getting his gas up. Looks like he's going to go ahead and throw down a Hydra Den, so 3-hatch Hydra follow-up will be the choice here of PTAC.
yes, and so since he had the second gateway, he has 7 zealots here on the map, and we only have like 10 zerglings here, and a few more here. Okay, never mind. So yeah, these units, these zerglings are still not enough, I think, but if he has some more spawning, I think he should be totally fine. Let's see how the micro is. One that is going to the left, maybe can scout into the main base? No? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
well,
but
so
nice
far
micro.
he killed 0 zealots, yeah. So this is looking pretty good here for Dreamer all of a sudden. Like, PTAC definitely saw that there was that second gateway there. Is he in trouble here? Like, that's a lot of zealots. What is he gonna do to defend this?
I think so. If he just blocked the ramp, he could just kill off the base here. But now it gets close. I think he can barely defend it, maybe, but he's losing a lot of drones in the process. Yeah, that's too much damage.
It was a nice drone drill, but there's still 4 zealots here. He lost a lot of drones. He's pulling back some more lings, or some lings from his third base, rather. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, there's no way anymore now, sadly.
Maybe he kills the zealots, but the damage has been done, right? Like you saying.
Yeah. You can see the worker count. The worker count is always the big story here. it's like triple worker count for Dreamer. So
Oh, come on, at least please. Okay, he does kill that hatchery, and with that, I think Dreamer is probably just gonna take this game.
yeah. So that was pretty interesting because the gas steal definitely kind of forced the second gateway, and it also looked like P-Tech knows that because he really flew his Overlord into the main base and then immediately turned right towards the natural to confirm that gateway, but he still just wasn't prepared. He still just basically lost everything against the Zealots that he knew would come. So kind of unfortunate for P-Tech here.
Yeah, it's interesting because we did see that gas steal before from PTAC, but I don't think Dreamer got the second gateway in those other games where he took the gas. But he did this time, and PTAC did scout it first with his Lings, then with his Overlord, like you were saying. So he just, I don't know, maybe he probably needs a Sunken or something. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, he's got a few Hydras out on the map, killing a couple of Zealots here, but. Yeah, he's probably just gonna try and bust him, and if that doesn't work, GG, right? That's all he really can do at this point. He's got no drones to speak of. He just has to go with everything he's got and hope he wins with it.
Yes, he's just making more Hydras. So this is definitely an all-in. Thanks for the cheers, by the way. Yeah. You can see the worker count is actually more than triple at this point. So these Hydras have to win the game. There are only 3 cannons in the front. I think this last cannon will not fire if the first 3 gets attacked. And all the Zealots are dead, so there's a little slight chance. But with this DT spawning, that chance just disappeared and the game's over.
Alright, well, I mean, he's still trying, but that DT will kill everything. There's no Overlords around. That's GG. He leaves the game. And yeah, Dreamer takes game number 1, so he's now 1 match away from advancing into the round of 8.
Yes. Yeah, so it really felt like P-Tech forced this to happen and wasn't prepared. So that's definitely interesting.
Yeah. Let's see, there's chat. Looks like Bonnet's saying he needed Speedlings instead of the Hydras to defend this.
Yeah. He probably just planned to go for like a Hydra bust, but the Zealot just hit before he had the like critical mass of Hydras. Oh well. Okay, let's find out what the second game has in store for us. I will probably
need a remake on that.
The game again.
Invalid pass.
Well, only Speedling you can get trapped in your base from Zealot blocking ramp. Well, the point is that you have the Speedlings out before he can block the ramp, so that you surround the Zealots with many Speedlings. Yeah, so little fact about Speedlings against Zealots. Most newer players maybe not know that because Speedlings really only increase the movement speed, so why would they be better at fighting? Makes no sense, right? But in reality, if you have a circling group surrounding Zealots, the Zealots will always try to micro back a bit, get better positions, and Zerglings, since there are so many, they are running around and they need time for that. And if they have actual movement speed, they can just get into the fighting position way quicker and finish off the Zealots. So Speedlings are actually better than fighting than Slowlings against Zealots. I will not comment that. Never mind. Okay, so we are going into the game. Any second here? 1 second. There we go. Okay. So, in the top right of Eclipse, we have our Protoss 1 game away from advancing to the round of 8. It is Dreamer.
And in the bottom left, the map choice of PTAC, Do or Die Time, or White Zerg PTAC. I don't know why I said his name twice, but okay. So yeah, I think these two played this map last time, and was that a game Dreamer won? No, I think PTAC won, right? That was the game where he tried to fight on the high ground and he just didn't have enough. Yeah. Okay, so I do believe PTAC won this map last time, so maybe that factored into his choice here. He's going to go ahead with his 9 hatch build here. Is this going to be the 9 hatch, 9 pool again?
Could be. Yeah, interesting. Let's see what he can do with that. So, wait, that was on Sylphid, right? That was Dean Max.
Against Dean Max, yeah.
Yeah, that was against Dean Max, right? So PTEC won against Dean Max with his build, but to be fair, that was a very weird game. You can't really count that as a normal game. So maybe now we'll see how this 9 hatch matches up against the normal build. That said, the probe was in place for a weird shenanigan, but we see the gateway in the natural, so no cannon rush in this case.
Yeah, the probe actually kills the drone there. Nice little pick off for that. Yeah, we did see him do a cannon rush on this map before and force PTAC to cancel it, so same positions even. So yeah, I mean, expecting that again, but because he went for the do that, we do see the first zealot coming across now, and PTAC does scout that with the drone, but he will have Zerglings in time to defend, no problem.
Yes. So drone scouting that there's no nexus going up, still zealots spawning, so he knows that he has to make a few more zealots, maybe like 4 more or so, to actually defend those zealots. He has 8 out right now, so that's easily enough for the first zealot, but once the second zealot comes, then he needs to be a bit careful.
Alright, Forge go down, just wanting to complete that wall a little bit. Not wanting to get those lings running by into his main base. Never a good time for Protoss. Looks like he will be okay there. He's going to join up with his third zealot. This is that little dance kind of thing you get. Oh, but he's getting his zealots surrounded, which could be good here for the Zerglings. He does manage to save them, though, for now.
And there are more and more Zerglings coming. Just Zerglings streaming across the map.
Those 2 zealots are really low.
Yeah, and there's no photon cannon. I think the Zerglings can literally just break in. I think this game's over.
If he can get a surround on that zealot, the zealot does get in the hole, but yeah, like these cannons, they can't finish now, right? Yeah. So PTAC just has to flood lings, right? And that he should win this game. Second zealot does come out. Like, we're gonna need really great control here from Dreamer.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, even if he defends this, he is losing probes and he still has no cannon up. The Nexus, of course, has not even started yet. So it looks like he is defending, and we always have to remember that the Zerg is not making drones meanwhile. So yeah, maybe if PTEC didn't target some probes and instead target this cannon, he could have had a bigger chance. Now I think Dreamer is actually pretty fine. We still see a lot of Zerglings streaming in, but now the cannon is up. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was really close. He could still probably pick off a couple of those probes and get in. Looks like he might want to for that. He's gonna back off. Okay.
Oh.
If he does, oh, nice blocking there. But now the bottom's open. Okay, he's got to be careful.
Can he kill the cannon?
Looks like he will, but there's still a couple zealots here that can clean up the last of these lings.
Oh.
So I think he's going to be fine still, as long as he doesn't lose too many probes in his main base.
Yeah. So the probe count is 13 to 14. So PTEC did switch back into making drones. So if he can pick off maybe 2 or 3 more probes here, then he's actually in a good position.
Yeah. Looks like, I mean, even denying them. There's still more Zerglings actually coming across the map here, seeing if they can sneak in, but Dreamer does have this blocked up already. And he does have another cannon finish, so there's going to be no more damage from these lings, at least, on the outside. But these 3 in the main are still running around, although he does pick off one now with the Zealot, which is nice, and gets his Nexus down. But I still gotta say this is probably a little bit better here overall for Zerg, just because like he's ahead in workers now. He's got his 2 bases. He just started mining gas. We can see Dreamer actually has a lot of gas himself, sitting at almost 700 gas here, and he doesn't even have a core down, so he can't even do anything to spend that gas. Yeah, where do we go from here? Sorry, go ahead.
He took the gas pretty early, I think, even before the cannon, and that's maybe what made this whole circling run by happen. And then he started mining gas, but since he was struggling to defend the Zerglings, he couldn't really start his core and everything, but he kept mining gas, so that's why he has so much gas right now. And
can you just... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, okay, all he needs to do now is just take a second gas really early and then just go mass Zealot Archon or something. Something crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it can work sometimes.
Yeah. But looks like on the other side here, we do have a 3-hatch Hydra coming out from PTAC again. We've seen him do this quite a bit, but also, which is kind of strange because we saw him do the mutas a lot too, and that worked really well for him. Every time he went mutas, he just destroyed everybody's Templars like crazy, right? Like he just won every time he did that because the opponent never had enough Templars. So it's kind of curious to see him go for this 3-hatch Hydra a lot too.
Yeah, I feel like this is risky. I mean, if he just like went for a third base and go for a macro game, since he's already ahead in drones, I think he has a better shot. This aggressive Hydra push could backfire, I think. This could bring Dreamer back into the game if Dreamer just continuously making probes during this and somehow defends the Hydras. I think we can get back to a normal game here. But first he needs to scout the Hydras, and this core there is maybe barely too late for that. Only 1 cannon. Okay, 2nd cannon going up now, but that could be too late.
He does see the Hydras now with his probe, but we'll have to see how committed PTAC is. So far he's only made about, what's this, 8 Hydras here? So he'll be able to pick some stuff off. Is he making more Hydras or drones at home? It looks like more Hydras are popping out now. This time he is actually going to go for that cannon.
Yes. Initially only 3 Hydralisks attacking because the other ones were blocked behind. Yeah, okay, so he kills that 1 cannon, but in the end Dreamer has enough cannons up behind that. So now PTAC can kill the Forge, deny the upgrade, and also kill this pylon and the gateway. So he is doing some damage, but he will not be able to quite kill Dreamer. I think so, at least.
Well, he's still making Hydras at home. We'll see how many he ends up making. It looks like he's just going to go all in on a Hydra bust here.
Yeah.
Dreamer's caught up in worker count now because of this. He is scouting for a 3rd base. He does see the drone going there to take that 3rd base. But what... Okay, all the cannons are still powered. So 6 cannons, 4 Zealots, what you see is what you got. He's got no more gateway production at the moment, so he can't make any more Zealots to help buffer for these cannons. So maybe.
I'm not sure.
Looks like he's gonna go for it.
Yeah.
We'll see. He's gotta pull the probes here.
Yes, and he's doing that. He's blocking some Hydras here. And it's barely enough. Oh, but that was a close one. That was definitely a close one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he could still go back in here. He's still got quite a few Hydras. And he's still making Hydras, so he can probably pick off... Okay, he's gonna go back again.
Yeah, now he's killing probes. Oh, he's running in again into the probe block. But I think it's barely enough for Dreamer here to defend. Wow.
Wow.
I feel with a little bit of better micro by PTAC, he could have killed Dreamer. He kind of retreated and then went back into the fight while being in the range of the cannon the whole time. But still, he's still readying Hydras quite a lot here from the main base and the natural. But Dreamer is making more cannons, so like 2.5 are up right now and 4-5 more building here. Okay, 1 is a pylon.
Yeah, I guess he just wants to continue on with this tack, but I mean, the more this doesn't keep working, if Dreamer's able to defend, it's going to be good for him. Though he still is only on 1 gas. He does have a DT out, but that's not going to do anything with the Overlords here.
Oh wow. So Pitek was ahead in drones early on with like 25 to 23. And we can see Dreamer just completely overtook him in the probe count, in the worker count. Really in a better economy now, and he is actually safe against the Hydras. As the storm is coming pretty soon, I think. I think it's actually already done, the first Templars out. So I think Dreamer actually recovered here, and P-Tech's aggressive Hydra all in, yeah, okay, not really all in, but very, very aggressive, didn't really pay out, I think.
Yeah, we can see that he switched back to drones. There was a couple drones in here with it. And he's actually banking up a lot of gas here. So what's his plan going to be for that gas? We do see the Spire finishing up, so maybe we'll see him start to build up that Mutalisk count and go for Templar snipes again here in a little while. I mean, that we've seen that work well for him in previous games against Dreamer and against Dean Max earlier, so maybe he'll do that again. Yeah, no lurker upgrade as of yet, so I imagine that's probably what he wants to go for here. But what do we got? We got another Corsair being made here for Dreamer, and he's adding on some additional gateways. Looks like he wants to go up to 6, 7 gateways.
Yes, and now we see the Mutalisk being produced here. 9 Mutalisks in the production tab, and also a sunken colony. Okay. Yeah, the storm is now done, so it was researched a bit later. And yeah, so far, again, Dreamer is completely fine. He doesn't need to be scared that he will die, but can he actually go out on the map anytime soon? With those mass gateways, I'm sure he's planning a big 2-base attack again, so let's see if that works.
Yeah, but will he be able to do it like... he did defend the 3-edge Hydra, but he's still not in the best position overall. We can see like PTAC is actually slightly out in supply. He does get supply blocked there with losing that Overlord. But what does he have to deal with these mutas? He's got 2 cannons in the main, and that's about it. It looks like it's enough to shy these mutas away, but he's going to lose a couple of High Templars here. At least one anyway.
And I think I just saw the core there getting killed by Scourges. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I definitely heard something explode there. I definitely see no core there right now, and he definitely built one earlier.
Well, he just built another one as well.
Yeah.
Seeing the mutas out, he wants to sort of try and keep the mutas at bay here.
Yeah, so Dreamer is safe against the Mutalisk, I guess. He just has so many cannons, like 3 in the main, and then like, how many is it? 8, 10 in the natural. So 13 cannons. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he's even going to kill that egg now with one. Give himself that tiny, tiny, tiny little bit extra. All right, well, how many gateways? He looks like he's on 9 gateways now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 gateways on 2 bases here. So he's really going forward, going all in with this.
Yes, and we have the Lurker contain starting for PTEC, and for me personally, this is the hardest thing to play against. So this Lurker contain, if you can't really get out of your main base, and you kill the first line of Lurkers, and there are just more and more lines even behind that, it's so hard. Sometimes it can be useful to go for like a Reaver, but then again he has 10 gateways, so I don't think we'll see that. Yeah, we'll see if he can just power through with 10 gateways and actually break out, but it will be very hard.
Yeah, well, as you can see, we already have over 2 lines worth of lurkers here. He's still got that control group of mutas. There is a Dark Archon, so he has to be careful now. But I mean, if he's got Maelstrom, one Maelstrom on those, that muta clump could really ruin his day there. But I think even if he lost those mutas, he's still fine. Like, he's got so many lurkers. He's got a good number of Hydras out here. He's got some Overlords. And he can continue to make units to send there, but it looks like he's even going to take a fourth base here. He's got a drone in position to take that base anyway. So we'll see that shortly. So Dreamer really just, he has to go for it at some point and hope he can break out, but I don't know if he'll be able to. I think he's probably just going to be stuck here on 2 bases and eventually just lose. You know, like I don't know if he's going to be able to break out of here.
Yeah, yeah. Sadly, I have to agree. This will just be a very frustrating last minutes of the stream for Protoss players out there. I don't think it will work. He only has like 3 storms or so as well.
Yeah, we got a third line of lurkers in the back now here even.
Oh my god.
Great scouting from PTAC. He's got like every base covered, so Protoss can't really take any more bases. That 4th base has been started now as well. And what can Protoss do? He's gonna try and push out here, but he's just this is just a slaughter. Like he's just gonna lose all these units to these lurkers. He picks off a couple of them, but loses the Dark Archon even.
Without
all those
even
Templars get
casting
picked up.
anything.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Another group of lurkers in the back being made. And yeah, this looks pretty hopeless for our Protoss pal.
Yeah, really, you need a lot of goons, you need a lot of high Templars to break out of this, or Reavers. In this case, he doesn't really have anything of that. He only has 1 storm, he's losing zealots to the lurkers, and his goon count will just get crushed by the Hydras incoming that cannot be cleared by storm. And with that, the game is over. You can see it in the supply, and Dreamer knows it. GG. That's 1-1.
Well, that's 1-1, yeah. So we do have another game 3.
Yes, we do. This will be the real final game of the group. Not just final series, but also final game. So this game decides about who advances to the round of 8 and who drops out of the BSL 10 Gosuleague. So everything on the line here. And the map is Optimizer.
Okay, and that would have been Dreamer's choice. All right.
Yes. Oh, first try again. Nice. Getting there.
That's good to see.
Okay, so we are ready.
Final game of the round of 16.
And let's go. Okay, in the bottom left corner of Optimizer, it is PTAC.
All right, and in the top right, it is Green Protoss Dreamer. So we got cross spawns. Definitely can make things a little more interesting. They're not sharing the same side for that weird, those weird 3 and 9 o'clock bases there, where you can kind of get into them by mining them out or by jumping a drone or a probe. So yeah, we'll have to see. Cross. Is he asking if they're cross spawns?
Yes.
Okay, he doesn't know the map. He's asking for
is
the
that
spawns,
the
I think.
case? I know there were some, like in the history of Root War, there were some tournaments that had certain maps that were restricted to only cross spawns. So you couldn't get like close spawns on it. It was just using use map settings, and you only could spawn in any positions on cross and not close. But yeah, I don't think that's what he's asking. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. Maybe.
Yeah, he asked cross, so maybe that is what he's asking. Like, is this
I
only a
cannot
two spawn map or something?
Yeah, I cannot imagine him not knowing the map. So I don't think he's asking if there are 2 or 4 positions on the map. So
yeah,
that's a bit weird.
Maybe it was a mind game. He's like, "Are we cross spawns?" I don't know, trying to make him talk. But yeah, I mean, we know they're cross spawns. I'll find out eventually. But it looks like we do have Forge first coming out from Dreamer here. And he is going to go ahead and scout our Zerg player, who once again went for E Hatch first play.
Yes, so no real aggression in the beginning of this game here. We'll see just both players taking their expansions and also just scouting their opponents here.
Is he going to try and cannon rush this again? Look, there's a second probe coming.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's totally correct. Never mind then.
Now, Yeah, he's just gonna build cannons out here. And PTAC will not be aware of this. Like, he's like, okay, he's not cannon rushing me. The probe's in the main, it's fine. Not expecting a second probe to have been sent out here. So, yeah, will he be able to defend this? It's going to be a bit later, right? The spawning pool is almost done before he's starting the cannons here.
Well, he is scouting it with the drone now, so he saw
Oh, he
another
does, yeah.
probe leaving, and he saw no cannons, no nexus up, so he should know what's up. Okay, and there's a drone even in his own natural scouting it, okay. Yeah, I think he can deny it, to be honest. The cannons are not up.
Probes did kill one drone, but looks like he will defend, so that's nice to see. He is going to lose a couple of drones here. He's lost 2 so far. 3,
Yeah, he needs to be
almost.
careful.
That drone is 1 hit from death. Okay, he lost 2 drones, almost 3.
But man,
he does
3
defend.
probes as well.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay, a little interesting opening, but I think both players are going to be okay still. It's not going to just end. Dreamer is getting 2 cannons here back at home, so these lings won't be able to just kill him.
Yep.
And there goes the gateway, so he can block. So he looks like he's actually feeling threatened by this and pulled a lot of probes out here.
Yeah, but
as
I
we
mean,
can
he
see, the lings turned around.
was in the main for long enough to know that there's no gas here, so there are no speedlings coming, and I think if you have 2 cannons against slow Zerglings, that's usually fine.
Yeah. And it's pretty well blocked now. He's even keeping those probes there just to make sure. Alright, what is going on now? Looks like we got the gas being taken here from both players.
Oh wow. Actually, only 3 drones in the main mining for PTech, while there are 7 drones on the 6 mineral patches in the bottom of the natural. So he should definitely split them up a bit, I feel.
Yeah,
Okay.
3 more drones popping out of the main. He's going to put them on gas too. Okay, yeah, he's sending some more. That's nice to see.
Okay, nice.
Alright, so where do we go from here? We got the Cyber Core started here for Dream. Will he be going for his Citadel? Looks like +1 has started now as well for him. So probably another Speed Zealot attack out of him, skipping the Stargate. Will PTAC go for the lair, or will he go for the Hydra Den again? An Evo chamber.
Evo chamber.
And a second gas.
Interesting. This usually could mean either he wants to go for a fast upgrade, or he wants to get spores against core there, and you only get those spores if you want to go for like a lot of drones and hatcheries early on. But yeah, that's weird. He will probably just go for a fast upgrade here. Yeah, that is.
Well, this is interesting. Like, he's even got the second gas. Okay, he's getting a Hydra Den now, but this is going to be a lot of gas, considering he has no lair.
Yeah,
I guess upgrades and Hydras. Yeah,
upgrades and Hydras. He will start the Hydralist upgrade in the den and also produce Hydras, and then the gas will almost be done. Gone.
Okay, so we did have +1 started for the Zealots first, but now we do still have a Stargate follow-up, the Citadel here. So +1 on these Zealots is going to be done quite a ways before the speed is done for them.
Yep. And a second evolution chamber here in the Zerg base, so this will be an upgrade-heavy game, it looks like.
Yeah, going for like a Hydra Battle Zerg type of play. To go a lot of... Okay, saying that, he starts the lair. This is very interesting.
So there's a comment in the chat. It's a new build from Soma. He did it in ASL. Okay, but then also that is not part of Soma's build, so yeah, we are not sure. But he's definitely probably starting the second upgrade very soon. Here it is. So for the ranged units, so we'll go for a probably very upgraded Hydra heavy mid game, I will assume.
Yeah, I mean that's what it looks like here to me. Looks like Dreamer is going to get in here. He didn't go into the main, so he didn't scout this double Evo chamber. That's a bit unfortunate for him. I feel like he should scout that, see that the lair is still building, not done yet, and the double Evo would probably be a big help for him. But he's just going to look around. He's going to find an Overlord, pick that off, which is always nice.
Yeah. So that's the first Overlord being killed here by the Corsairs. And there is... Wait, wasn't there another one still? Okay, in the middle there are two more, but they are a bit closer to the Zerg base. But I think with two Corsairs you can actually maybe kill those two on the right side before the 3 Hydras actually can kill a Corsair. We'll see. They have speed.
Okay, tries to pick off another Overlord, but those Hydras will defend it just fine.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what do we have on the Protoss side? We do have a DT out now. He did add a few more cannons. I think he was expecting maybe an earlier Hydralisk attack coming out here. So that probably slows him down here a bit. He's going to go ahead and take his 3rd gas in his main base here even. So he's going to be mining from 3 gases here shortly.
Yes. Yeah, little info for anyone who is not playing this map a lot. This top gas, so usually in a normal map that has 1 gas in the main, it is 5,000 gas in one assimilator. And in this case, you have two gases, and one of them has 4,000 and one of them has 1,000. So overall, it's the same amount of gas, but you can get like 1,000 of those earlier than usual. So you can go for very early gas-heavy strategies, but in the long run, it's the same gas.
Yeah, we did lose one of those Corsairs trying to pick off an Overlord. Don't want to lose that second one there. Meanwhile, Dreamer hasn't been mining the mineral at the bottom of his base here to open it up to take his 3rd. I find that kind of interesting as well. Like, does that just signal that he wants to go really heavy 2 base push again? Or
I mean, that's what he was doing most of the games so far, I think.
Yeah.
We could see that again, but I don't think it will work against those heavily upgraded Hydralisks here. Not sure. The worker count is almost even, and this is usually good for Zerg. If P-Tech just takes another base here, like next to his 3rd maybe, or...
we do have some drone kills though.
4 kills here, yeah, pretty nice. Yeah, the Sunken not in the perfect place here, but now the DT is killed off.
He does get 5 kills, not too bad. Yeah, but I mean, even if he did want to go for that heavy 2 base play, like even just mining those patches, it's like a couple extra mineral patches you can mine from, right?
Yeah, sure.
Like it's just to increase your income a little bit even. But we'll have to see. Looks like he's going up to a total of 6 gateways, 7 gateways, 8 gateways. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be another strong 2 base timing attack coming out from Dreamer here.
Yeah, also going for double upgrades. So very upgrade heavy game really. So Dreamer is on 2-0 in a few seconds and then has just started another armor upgrade. So he will be on 2-0 for a while and then probably start the 3rd attack upgrade and be 3-1 later on. Meanwhile, we have P-Tech who has the lurkers already. He is on 1-1 and only has 1 evolution chamber evolving right now.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of bit of a mistake here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I feel like that's probably a mistake. Like he thought he clicked it, or he did click it and he didn't have enough resources. He just actually now noticed it now that we say that, and he has started it. So probably just a misclick or a mistake from him, not intentional there. Bit unfortunate, but I mean the position still looks good for him, right? He's got 4 bases up. He's ahead in supply. Dreamer's really going to have to make something happen with his 2 base push if he wants to win this game.
Yeah, and he's again going for so many gateways. It is 8 gateways here in the main plus the 1 in the natural, so that's 9 gateways. This is pretty much a 2 base all in here. And man, look at P-Tech. He has so many lurkers, and he's also ahead in the worker count, and he also has a 4th base. So oh man, I'm not sure. Really, Dreamer has to move out with the army and really take a wonderful fight and crush a base or so. Otherwise, I don't see a lot of hopes here for him.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how this goes. He does have +2 done. His armor upgrade is getting pretty close. He's going to kill that gateway. Probably signaling that he's about ready to move out onto the map here. Does he have any observers? Oh yeah, okay, looks like there's the first one flying into his army now. Which oftentimes signals, okay, he's about ready to go. He's got his observers, he's got his upgrades, he's got a decent army here, but it's just not as big as PTAX, right? He can't really compete with this, it looks like.
He also, it looked like he forgot his speed zealot upgrade, so he has to wait a little while longer.
Oh no. Yeah, he did. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. There's a question in chat. Are you sure you pronounce PTEC correctly? Well, I'm open for suggestions how to pronounce it, but so far I'm using PTEC here.
Yeah, I don't know how else we would pronounce it, but he's Croatian. I don't know how to speak Croatian, so
yeah.
Yeah, but okay. Looks like I'm guessing he's probably just gonna wait for that Zealot leg speed to finish, or just about be finished, and then push out. And yeah, okay, it is just about finished now. So I do see him moving across. This is quite a Dragoon heavy army. He doesn't have a lot of Zealots in here, anyways. So we'll have to see. Is he going to be able to break through in a location? Like, this almost looks like in a TVT where he's just trying to split the map. Like, PTAC just has this huge lurker wall in the middle of the map, you know? But yeah, Dreamer's just found the one place that just avoids all of these lurkers. That's funny, actually.
Yeah, and if he just runs by, I don't think you should run in there. I don't think you should run in there. No, no, no.
We'll see how the storms are. He is killing a lot of this. I mean, he killed a lot of those Hydras, but he's taking a lot of losses here, too.
I don't like this. I think that's it for this game. He had a wonderful opening on the left side. He could just run through and then force PTEC to unburrow the lurkers and run into his army. And that's always super nice for a Protoss, but he just ran into the already burrowed lurkers. And now he lost his whole army, and we mentioned what usually happens to Protoss that lose their whole army, right?
Yeah, especially if they're already behind an army supply or account like this, that's just even worse. But I agree, like I think that was a big mistake. He could have ran in towards the natural and forced Zerg to unburrow and be in a worse position attacking into you. Like, first of all, those lurkers are going to take extra hits before they get burrowed, but you're going to be able to get storms while the units are running towards you. So it's usually a better trade to get the Zerg to come to you than you to go into him as Protoss. But yeah, I mean, we do have Dreamer taking that third base now. Quite late, I gotta say. His main base is almost mined out. So yeah, this isn't really looking good for him. He's 30 supply down. I don't think he can come back. I think PTAC's probably gonna win this game in advance.
It surely looks like that. Yeah, it also looked like he kind of just moved his whole army into the lurkers. So like he wasn't keeping the zealots back, for example. He wasn't carefully microing his goons. He wasn't pre-storming, for example. He just moved everything. I think he also lost some High Templars in there, and the zealots all run in. And yeah, now I think this drop will actually secure the game here.
Yeah, and he definitely doesn't have anything to defend this. He's just got to cancel out, which he's doing. And yeah, what can he do now? His main is really close to being mined out here. He's got no other bases. He's basically just got to go with his whole army and try and get something done, but I don't think he'll be able to, and then that'll be it, right?
Yeah, a bit of like an anticlimactic finish here, but it really looks like there's no way that PTEC can lose this.
Yeah. Well, Dreamer did beat him 2-1 when they first played. He just PTAC wins it 2-1 here in this game. When all the money's on the line here, unfortunately for Dreamer. But we'll see how this fight goes. Maybe if he can clear this all out.
Okay, and the game just ends. We again saw High Templars dying to lurkers without storming, and you can see the supply. There was no hope, and Dreamer leaves the game. So congratulations to PTEC. He advances as the last player to the round of 8.
Yeah, so both of our Zerg players advanced, and our 2 Protosses are eliminated.
That is correct. Okay. That was a lot of PVZs, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Let's take a quick last look at the group that we just saw, and then we'll take a little preview of the round of 8 here. So here we go. So this is the group. Yeah, to wrap this up, we saw Eriador defeating DNMax and Dreamer actually defeating PTech in the first series they played, and then Eriador was able to secure the first spot of the group against Dreamer in a very convincing games, so gets out in first place. Dreamer goes to the decider match, and in the losers bracket, PTech was able to defeat DNMax and then continued his win streak in the best of threes by defeating Dreamer in the decider match to advance as second place in the group. So that is a wrap up of this group. Yeah, now let's take a look at the round of 8. Snipe, do you remember who advanced from Group C?
Yeah, so it was 2 Protoss players, Dark and Ugox, also known as Juliotas or Julios. The Peruvian Protoss. Julios there. Now do I know who advanced first and second? That's the real question. I can bring that up. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, meanwhile, let's see. So in the first group, we saw Venom and Quark advance. And in the second group, we saw Brown advance together with our only Terran here in the round of 16. And now we have our brackets.
Okay, yeah, so it was Julios first and Dark was second.
Okay, so Julius first, Dark second here. So that means we have Venom in a PvP against Dark. So Venom versus Dark here from Group C, second place. Then in the second match, we have Brownie versus the second place of the group we saw today. So that is PTech. So that will be a ZVZ here. Brownie against PTech. Then the next game is the first place of Group C, which is Julius, another Protoss, against another Protoss in Quark. So another PvP here. And in the last match of our round of 8, we have the first place of today's group, which is Eriador. Remember, he's a race picker. And he is playing against Tarson, so he should... I think he's playing Zerg against Terran. So
that should be a ZVT.
That should be a ZVT. So we have 2 PvPs, 1 ZVZ, and 1 ZVT. So yeah, pretty good mix. A little bit heavy on the Protoss side maybe, but yeah.
Well, 4 Protoss, 3 Zerg, and 1 Terran. So. Yep.
Okay. 1 second. I just got... Oh, 1 second, 1 second. I just got a message by Veer here in the chat, who has the tree in an Excel file here. Let's see if I can show that really quickly. I don't think I can, to be honest. Since this is an Excel, I don't think I can copy this. Or I can set up my streaming software quickly enough to do that. But 1 second, I have my tools. Okay, sadly not working. Okay, so never mind. Yeah, anyways, I mean, we talked about all the matches. I think should be fine. So, are there any further comments, guys? Any further questions? Are you hyped for the round of 8? Now's your last chance. Otherwise, the stream is over for today.
We should be casting again next week, I believe. Probably on Thursday. We'll have to figure that out with the other casters, but
yes, that's a good point. I can check what streams have already been decided. 1 second. I can also...
He did not cast his own games. different casters did his group.
Yeah, Better Sawyer, I did not. I did cast Group A and now D. So we had to switch Group B and A so that I'm not casting my own games. Yeah, but that's not too bad. Okay, 1 second. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, it looks like the round of 8 matches are already set up for the casting. So we have on Tuesday, so next Tuesday on the 27th of October, Tuesday, we have Veer, who you can also see in the chat here, Revolution Veer. Definitely click him, follow his channel, and watch the cast of the first 2 matches of the round of 8 on Tuesday. And on Thursday, you can see the other 2 matches, the 3rd and the 4th match of the round of 8 on this channel that you're watching right now, casted by Snipe and myself.
That's right. Sounds good.
Okay, yeah, with that, I think we have everything we needed. All the information are public, and I think we can wrap up the stream here.
Sounds good.
Okay, so then thanks a lot for you guys watching. Thanks for the comments in the chat. Thanks for Dreamer for sending the replays of the decider match, and also thank you for Snipe casting here with me. It was a wonderful day, and I say bye bye.
Oh, it was great to be here. See everyone next week.